Nation. This is your show. This is Raider Nation Voices, where the phone lines are open and the takes are hotter than Allegiant on game day. Hosted by 401 Raider Jeff and JD Raiders First Downs. We're taking your calls, your opinions, and your passion for the silver and black. Got something to say? Call in Raider Nation Voices, where the fans run the show.
Welcome back, everybody. What's going on? It's another installment of Raider Nation Voices with your main host, 401 Raider Jeff, and my normal co-host, Jason, is not here tonight. So we have an esteemed guest on with us tonight. Guest host, co-host, the one, the only, Mr. Excitement, Mr. Can't Sit Still because I got ants in my pants, Mr. Raider Will from the Silver and Black Podcast. What's up, my brother? How you doing? I knew it. I knew the horns were coming.
Hey, baby, what's going on? Hey, I appreciate you, Jeff, for bringing me on and bringing a co-host.
Hey, no problem, man.
Stuff going on, but I'm excited to be here, guys. New show. I'll be like, I've watched it. First time being a part of it. I'll be like, hey, exciting time for me, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you came in here to do this. I talked to Jason. I said, I don't know. Maybe I'll go alone. Maybe I'll see if I can get a co-host. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get Will in here. Let me ask Will. So, Mr. Excitement, Mr. Energy, I figured to get your ass in here, get you some more exposure on a Saturday night too. Get some people over to your channel also. Silver and Black Radio Podcast. Make sure you guys get over to his channel on YouTube. Hit those subs, hit the notifications, give the thumbs up. So make sure you guys get over to his channel and do that exactly, please.
Yes, sir. Get over there, boys.
Yeah. I'm going to be dealing with these sound effects all night. I can already see it coming. Well, let's see who we've got in the chat with us tonight. So we got Bueno here. He says, I hope you have a great show, brother, which probably means he's not going to be here tonight to watch. Alex is in here. What's up, Alex? What's going on, my guy? One Piece Pokemon card guy. Okay. What's up, man? Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Darren's in the house. What's up, Darren? What's going on, my guy? So again, tonight's not really a topic-driven type of show. This is a chance where the Raider fans get to call in and talk Raiders-specific football. I don't necessarily have topics, but I have questions I want to pose to the chat. And when you guys call in, that's pretty much what we'll talk about in that moment. So just want to remind people that when you do call in tonight, one topic per call, try and keep it under 5 minutes. Because last time we did the show, we were extremely jammed with phone calls. Some had to just be forgotten because it just couldn't get to them in time because people go a little bit too long. So try and cap it at no more than 5 minutes if you call in. I appreciate that. So Will, how you been this week?
Man, been pretty busy. I've been like, honestly, when you guys, I don't know how you guys do it. Cause doing several podcasts a week, it's like, whoa, man. We did one Tuesday, Thursday. Now we're on here Saturday and then combining in your work week and family time. Bro, it's a lot. I commend you guys, especially the ones that are doing the grind like this on a weekly basis, because I don't know how you're still married.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. I don't work anymore, so I'm done working. So I have all the time in the world to, set shows up and do what I do. If I was still working, there's no way I'd be able to do as much as what I do. I'm on 5 days a week. I'm on from Tuesday straight through till Saturday night, So that's why when you asked in the chat for the most notorious the other day, if you could, produce the next couple of shows on Tuesdays, And I didn't get a chance to answer you right away, but I saw Leo say absolutely, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, you can. I said, 'cause you know why? It gives me a break, because I'm setting them all up for the most part, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasant break, trust me. I guess a lot of people don't understand how much goes into setting up these shows and doing them. It's not a simple thing of just clicking the button, going live, and let's just go. There's planning, there's thumbnails, the description you got to come up with.
The
Sort of like
research you have to do, I'll be like, you can't just come out here sounding like an idiot. I'd be
no,
like,
and that's the other thing too. If you're going to talk about certain topics, you got to make sure you're pretty much on point with what you're going to talk about. And just everything in general with it, lining up guests, if somebody backs out, who are you going to pull in instead? And there's just so much involved with it. It's not a simple thing. But
man, you're not lying. That whole bringing on a guest thing when you invite people and then, they pull out 30 minutes before the show and you're like, what am I supposed to do?
yeah. And I mean, it's not like they do it on purpose. It's like something important comes up, and but whether it's family related, work related, I get it. It happens. It definitely does. But I'm talking even like when one of your co-hosts, like last minute, like can't make it because of something. It's like, all right, so now we gotta shift gears a little bit here. But yeah, for the most part, though, we've been pretty lucky as far as guests go and such. So, did you do a show yesterday?
No, I didn't, man. I did not do a show yesterday.
So
I actually jumped on and watched a lot of everybody else's show.
Yeah, there was actually there wasn't many on yesterday. I think the only ones on during the day was Leo and Rundown.
Yep.
I was on last night. Raider Ben was on last night. Afakasi was on this morning. I got to watch a good majority of that. It's good to see him back again doing shows.
Absolutely.
He's taking a lot of time off. Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, when you're in the States for 30 days, it's kind of hard to keep your podcast going.
Right.
He's like, I'm in vacation mode, bro.
Yeah. So let's see who else is in here real quick. One Piece says, my granddad and his brother love the Raiders. Who are your favorite players? All-time favorite? Still Howie Long to this day. What about you, Will?
Marcus Allen, man, was my all-time favorite. And I know a lot of people will say, well, Bo Jackson, same kind of era, right? But Marcus, man, I mean, like that dude, to me, he really was like the icon of that team, of the 83 team. He was the dude. So, yeah, man. Marcus Allen.
Oh, Raider Paul's in the house, so. Let's see. Raider Chavez is in here. What's up, my guy? Good to see you fellas on a Saturday. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. TBH Sacramento in the house, baby.
Let's see. What's up, cats? Yeah, I saw your comments in the from the show. I think it was Wednesday night's Raider Connection show. You can't be out here acting like Max. No. It was fun doing Will's show on Thursday. Oh, was that last Thursday you guys did that show?
He jumps on Thursdays whenever he can. So he
all right.
2 weeks in a row. It's been nice to have Steven on. Hey, Steven, we got to get you on Tuesday too, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll have you on and we'll bench Will for the night.
I'll be on the B team. I'll be in the back. No worries.
What's up, Linda? How you doing? See, Raider Mike's in the house. What's up, man? Darren says his favorite is Twos, Bo, and Tatum. Okay.
Wait. You said one. You can't have three.
Well, he's got three.
Yeah, but
he's older than me. I let him have some slack. The Jet and Tim Brown, my favorite Raiders all time.
Ooh.
Really? James Jet? That's a weird one. Okay. Not knocking it. I'm just like, wow, that's a weird one.
I could see it though, because he's from that Tim Brown era, so maybe he saw them in tandem and he's like that 1-2 punch,
Alex says his is Plunkett. I'm trying to make it Tuesdays. It's been rough getting off work on time soon now. Yeah, the life of a UPS man. That sucks.
Hey, man, you should see this man during like the holiday season.
Oh, I know. I did a stint with them quite a few years ago on the holidays, and my God, most of my nights I didn't get home until 10 o'clock my time. So that sucked. And that
Yeah.
was before Amazon was starting to do their own delivery, so we were doing everything. The trucks were jammed. Let's see. Mike says Long and Gannon. All right, so I'm going to put up the first banner with the first question on it. So, well, I'm going to hit you with this first, and chat chime in. I'm going to open up the phone lines. So the phone lines are now open. So if you call in, put the number back up here too. It's actually scrolling across the top. It's 401-830-9189. If you guys want to call in, feel free to call in. But question, how do you feel about the Raiders right now in this moment?
Damn, man. What a good question.
That's why I asked it.
You know, a lot of people are going to say that we should be excited that the Raiders have made a lot of great moves this offseason. I'll be like, honestly, this offseason is completely opposite of the offseason before, right? So let's look at it and just say, right now, I feel a lot better than I did last year at this time. I feel like we have some coaches that are really, bro, we knocked it out of the park. So, yeah, I'll be like, I'll just put it plain. Yes, 100%. I feel like way better this year. I think that right now, the Raiders have done a lot of great stuff. We got great coaching staff. We're retaining players. We're doing smart contracts, 3-year contracts with players 25 through 28 years old, building for the future, building through the coach. Fuck, man, where has this been for the past 20 years?
Well, I just want to interrupt you for a second. You're saying you feel better than what you felt last year, but are you saying that because of how the season turned out with the coaches? Like, because prior to anything happening last year, I mean, if you look at it, we really didn't do anything wrong. Like, there was nothing that happened this time a year ago that made me think, oh, we're screwed.
Yeah,
You know, everything seemed like it was like, okay, some weird moves, but all right, I get it. You know, once the season started, that was different. So
the thing was, though, we didn't make any moves in the offseason that we brought in young guys, that we brought in guys that I was like, we brought in Geno Smith. I mean, like, Geno Smith, bro. Like, that was our big move in the offseason. So,
well, I mean, to be honest, though, the free agent pool last year wasn't that great either, though. Really wasn't.
And it wasn't, but I'd be like, at the end of the day, we really didn't see any moves made by Spike Tech. All the guys we brought in were all washed up players, all guys that played for Seattle, all guys that we gave up way too much for and really didn't pan out. And I'd be like, look at Devin White. Devin White was brought in on a contract just to see what he could do. Basically bringing like minimum wage players to see what they can do. So that's why I say I feel a little bit better this year, because honestly, when you bring in a Clay Walker, wow, right? Then you get him when the Kobe Dean. What? Okay, you got 2 solid linebackers.
Yeah.
We got a core, and they're 25, 28 years old, and they played in college together, so they have familiarity, so they can communicate with each other. Holy shit. Then we got, we pick up a right end that's an absolute first-round draft pick, and where you're picking them at $16 million, people are saying we're overpaying. Yes, absolutely. He hasn't produced like he should. But this is a first-round draft pick, Jeff. This is a guy who's projected really high. And if Leonard comes in there, because Leonard is the defensive line coach, because that's his expertise, and gets this guy to turn up, that could be the steal of free agency. So all these things are the things that are making me feel better, because I'm looking at it and I'm saying, did we get the most experienced coach? No. Last year we did that. Last year we went with experience. We got the hottest coach on the market. We got our guy. When is the last time you can hear that the Raiders were actually got the guy they wanted? They had a game plan in the offseason, came in there, got it done, and a package deal before the season even starts. Bro, we were supposed to get Ben Johnson last year.
Yeah, no, this is uncharted waters for us. We're not used to this. We're not used to having this good feeling right now. At least not for the last 20 something years. I get what you're saying. I agree 100%. I think the big difference between this season and last season is you're seeing the actual full effect of spy tech this offseason. You didn't see that last year. Including the draft, the free agents, that was all 100% Pete. The spy tech, I don't think even had a fingerprint on any of this last year. He wasn't able to do his true GM job. That's how I feel. So this year we're actually getting to see that and getting to see what a GM looks like when they can really be left alone in the cook. Because he's put out a gourmet meal so far on paper. You know, when the metal meets the road, when the season starts and everything, then we'll really get a better feel for how these guys all turn out. But I mean, the writing on the wall is, you know, it looks good. You know. So,
yeah, I mean, like the ingredients are there, right, Jeff? This year, you can say like you have all the ingredients there. You're cooking with grease, as they said. I mean, like the steam is hot. Now it's like putting the components together and having a master chef cook and like put these guys to work and make it work.
Yep. Steve says, I feel positive about the Raiders right now. We still have work to do, but I like where they're at. Darren says, we have done everything right the last 2 months. It sure as hell feels that way.
Yep.
See, Kaz says, other than scoring in the most critical areas to be a contender, a.k.a. the motherfucking Red Sox. Yeah, and we definitely want to see some of that, too, for sure. Let's see. Raider Ryan's in the house. What's up, Ryan? C-Mel, what's up? What's up? Oh, Camel over porn. I love it. Got nowhere to go but up this year. Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
But you know what? I said that last year too, based on the fact that we only won 4 games the year before. I said, well, we can't get much worse. And the Raiders went, hold my beer, and proved me wrong.
You know what, though, Jeff? We said it this year too. I think this year's about like we could say, hey, I agree with nowhere to go but up, because we said, guess what? This is a gimme year. This year, we don't even care. Like, as long as we see progress, cool. Like, we're cool with that, right?
I told you, I give this season a pass.
Yep.
That's why I'm not putting a win total on the season. I'm not predicting, you know, if we're going to make the playoffs or not. I'll ask the question to people because I know people want to answer that. They want to be asked that, but I'm not giving an answer on my end because my expectations of rock bottom this year. I just want to see competitive games. I don't want to see us get shut out. I want to see the defense should be improved based on what we brought in. So I don't see us getting blown out on the defensive side. So by that also keeps us in the game with the offense that we're possibly going to end up with. So I just want to see, like I said on Tuesday night with you and Leo, I just want to see a bunch of players out there giving it their all. And I don't want to see what I saw in Philly, where a team that just had no drive, no desire. They had no will to even want to be there. They were just flat as flat could be that entire game. From the time they walked out of the tunnel to the time they walked in the tunnel at the end of the game. It was disgusting. I was embarrassed. That's the first time I've actually been embarrassed watching us play. Just the product on the field was trash that game.
Bro, you said that. When you told me that, remember we were talking about the Philly game because everybody was on the ball. I was trying to see if I could get to go to Philly, but I didn't get a chance to go, right? And then I go to Houston.
Be happy.
And the Houston game was totally different.
Exactly, right?
We came in there and I was like, damn, where is this team? I'd be like, Bauer scores a touchdown, and I was like, whoa. But since we're not going to put the total on wins and losses, let me ask you this, Jeff. Do you believe this team will be more proficient on offense this year? Do you think we'll be able to respond? Oh, we got a phone call.
Yes. So let's answer this one here. You're on Raider Nation. Oops. You're on Raider Nation Voices. State your name.
This is Joe from Florida. How you guys doing tonight?
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
What's up, brother?
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Just keep in mind, if you ask any questions, you're not going to be able to hear Will, but he can hear you.
Right, gotcha. All right, here's the thing, guys. First of all, I've loved your content over the last year. You've helped me get through this horrific last couple of Raider seasons. So thank you guys so much. But I must pick a ball with you.
Okay.
I must pick a slight ball with you, though.
Okay.
I think we're all in the camp of we don't have expectations. But let's be honest with ourselves. We do have some expectations. For example, if we went 0-17, we would all be disappointed. That means we have some kind of expectation on the team.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, we dare not name them because we've been kicked in our heads so many times over the years. But we all have our expectations. Now, I'm a very superstitious man. Not that that's helped over the years, but I'm a very superstitious man. And I'm not going to say what I keep trying to get out of my head the number of wins I wanted to achieve. I'm not going to say it out loud because I'm not going to wish any ill will on the team. However, I can tell you this. I'm also in the same camp of we got to see some improvement across the board. We were, even though, I know we had the number one pick, we were the worst team by far this season in the NFL, I believe. We were just awful across the board. Special teams, offense, defense, coach, just across the board. So we are looking for a much better team, a quality product out there. Now, how many wins does that mean? Who knows? Again, I'm not going to mention any numbers, but I think we can all agree we all have some kind of expectations, right?
Yeah, I do in my head because, like I've said before, I took a bite of that apple last year and it was bad. And I'm trying not to do the same thing this year because, it's a rookie first-time head coach. We're bringing in a rookie quarterback, whether he starts right away or not. So, the odds are stacked against us to turn this thing around this season. But, yeah, I guess my expectations, you're going to force me to put a number on it. I knew this was going to happen.
No. I'm kind of begging you not to put a number on it. I'm going to. I don't want to say it out loud.
I want to see equal to or more than what we did in 2025.
Okay, gotcha.
That's fine. But even if we only end up winning 2 games, it is what it is. But if there's progression in the team's maturing, the team's gelling. Each unit is a well-oiled machine out there, but the luck of the draw is just biting us because we don't have an easy schedule, first of all. So the luck of the draw is just not in our favor, but if it happens, it happens, does it say that we can't do what the Redskins did a few years ago? No. Does it say we can't do what the Bears did last year? No,
easy, Jeff. You're killing me, Jeff. You're killing me.
I'm just saying, nothing's outside of the realm of possibility. So if it happens, that's a beautiful thing. Trust me, I'm going to be excited if that ends up happening. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be upset if it doesn't happen. So you know what? I've been on this earth for a long freaking time. It's been 40-something years since I've seen us win a Super Bowl. I've seen all 3 Super Bowl wins. I want my chance to see another one as an adult while I'm still alive before I shuffle off this earth. And I think that if things go the right way with this regime that's in power, we may see that sooner than later. Might not have to wait till, the 2050 season for us to win a Super Bowl. We might win one in the next few years. Who knows,
Well, I've been a fan officially since 1990. So even though the franchise that I love more than anything else has won 3 Super Bowls, I personally have never seen any. In fact, Jeff, the only time I've seen us in the Super Bowl, we had our asses kicked.
Yeah.
So I need one. I'm about to turn 50. Next year I turn 50.
Okay.
I need to see one. I don't know how many more years I got, Jeff. That's is guaranteed, right?
That's what I mean. I'm going to be 56 in May, so it's like I can't wait
but you've seen us hit that glory mark, though. I feel I've never seen it for myself.
I want to see it as an adult. Last time we did it, I was 14 years old. So I want to see it as an actual adult and enjoy it with my friends and my Raider family, like Will and Leo and everybody in the chat. Nothing's going to be more complete for me than to be able to come on here after we play in the Super Bowl and win it and just bask in the glory of the greatness of the return of the Raiders. And I want that more than anything. You know, I want to get back to that. I want to get back to being able to use confidently the commitment to excellence, the just win, baby. Two sayings we haven't been able to use for quite a few years. And if you use it, you're crazy because we're neither one of those right now. You know, I want to get back.
Well, not only are we not that, we're about as far from that as we can get. We're a joke. And people make jokes about us all the time, and it infuriates me. But this is not the franchise that I fell in love with, but people make jokes about us, and but at the same time, we make a joke of ourselves, so we can't blame anyone but ourselves.
Yeah,
100%.
100%. You're right. Yep.
Listen, I just want to say thank you guys, and now that you've got this number, I was a little nervous at first for calling, but you're going to hear me regularly now, and I really appreciate you guys' content. Thank you guys so much.
Every Saturday night we do Raider Nation talk, so it's all Raiders content on Saturday nights. You call in, and even if you can't call in on the live show, leave a voicemail. The voicemail is always open on that, and we'll play the voicemails. I didn't have any tonight, so. But yeah, so
all right, sounds good. We'll do that.
All right, man. Thanks. I appreciate the phone call.
Thank you, guys.
Man. You have a good night.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. That was a good one. That was. Hang on. This was definitely worthy of this. Hold on.
All
right
right,
here.
chat. You heard it. That's the kind of take that actually moves the conversation forward.
All right, let me catch up with the chat here real quick. And Kaz, you had me. I didn't realize you were Great Value Rock until you just put it in the chat. So thank you. Because at first I'm like, who is this guy busting my balls in my comment section? I'm like, I don't know who this was, and now I know. What's up, Alex? He says Pete did the same thing in Seattle. They got rid of him, and boom, win a Super Bowl. The GM got the cookies. Yeah, exactly. Silver Smoke, what's up, my guy? How you been, brother? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm doing good, and you? Eric Bell's in the house. What's up, Eric?
What's up, Eric?
You're a real motherfucking coach. You can come and fuck shit up every year. Yeah, right. Raider Mike, can we score 24 a game? We'll have to wait and see. I got a little more confidence in us scoring this year than last year, even without a bona fide quarterback right now. Because number one, we haven't had the draft yet, and number two, all we have is AOC on the roster. Coach, what's up, man? That was the first time. What about Rams 52, Raiders nothing in 2014? Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's see. Is Eric 7 wins? He says. Coach is telling him to move down on the wins. Sorry, 2 games shows no gelling. Well, not really. The product on the field is what you're gonna be judging this on. Not so much the wins or losses. It's how tight those games are. Are they playing right to the very end? Are they giving up? Right? Do you agree, Will? Or?
Well, here's the thing, right? Here, when we're talking about our team, and this is where, like, I know we didn't want to put a number, but you said a key word. Jeff, we weren't competitive in some games. We were taking straight BTA all game long. We weren't even in the game. For us to say, oh, yeah, all of a sudden, we have to be getting all these wins. No, we have to be competitive first. We have to have that competitive spirit and that fire. Once you start seeing that team gel, it's going to take some time. But if you see what you saw in Philadelphia, then I'm concerned. You know what I mean? I'm like, that is something that we have to look at. And people are going to like measure it by just saying, oh, if we didn't win, that means we weren't gelling. No, we are the least talented team in the NFL. That's why
last season
numero uno.
Last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what is I love Shane Leckler. I mean, AJ Cole. I absolutely love AJ Cole because he's such a beast for us. I don't want to see him on the field because you know why? I want to see us getting closer for touchdowns or getting within field goal range on a more consistent basis. If he doesn't come out and kick, then that's beautiful. And if we're paying him to just sit on the sidelines every goddamn game, that's money well spent if you're asking me. Because you know why? That means we got sustained drives down the field. We're either going for field goals or, as long as we're not turning it over, as long as we're not fumbling and throwing interceptions, a la Geno Smith, that means we're moving. We're showing progress. We're sustaining drives, and that's another thing we couldn't do last year.
Yep.
That game in Philly, I never saw the Raiders on my side of the 50-yard line unless they were on my side receiving the ball on punts and kickoffs. That was the only time I saw them. I never saw the offense make it over the 50-yard line to my side out of the 2 quarters that they were coming towards me from the other end zone. Never. They didn't break the 50. Remember, 2 hours and 37 minutes, 2 hours and 17 minutes or 37 minutes, I think the game was.
I'm just
second
taking
shortest
straight.
Let's see. Kaz says if Linderbaum and the upgrades on this team get us put of the playoffs, Clinton, this whole regime is straight BS.
What?
I don't get it.
I don't either.
You're on Raider Nation Voices. State your name.
This is Jeremiah.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up,
Good.
Go Raiders.
What's up, man?
Go Raiders. Yes.
So what's your feeling on the team right now? How do you feel about the Raiders right now?
Good.
You feel good?
You still there?
Very good. Yeah, very good.
You feel good about them?
Go Raiders.
You got anything you want to talk about the Raiders or?
Yeah. I like Raiders.
All right, brother.
All right, well, I got another call coming in. You have a wonderful night today, man. I appreciate you calling. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good one.
Yes, sir. Go Raiders, bro. Let's go.
Let's see. I got to go back here. What's up, Jay? What's going on?
Salute.
Coach says, tell you what, if they win 4 games, cool. As long as 2 are against the Chargers and the other 2 are against the Broncos and Chiefs.
Hey, no lie.
Yeah.
No lies.
Hey, we finally broke the curse last year. We didn't get shut out in our division. I want to see that. That I would love to see. Jay says you're rocking no glasses tonight.
Yeah, man. I'm like, I got trying to do something different, Jay.
What's up, Michael? He goes, did you guys happen to see the flag football games today? Do you catch Tom Brady talking to Stephon Diggs for a period of time and getting reps with him? Do you think Brady was taking notes for the upcoming season? I can tell you right now, and Will, I'm sure, will back me up on this. If you're meaning Stephon Diggs coming to the Raiders, it ain't going to happen. You'll never see Stephon Diggs in a Raiders uniform. Mark Davis will not do that. I mean, I don't know what he'd be taking for notes. I mean, the guy's still a free agent. Nobody's picked him up yet. I know we're not gonna. Just out of respect to Fred Biletnikoff, we won't. Won't happen.
I agree 100%. I mean, like Stephon Diggs, man. I mean, like honestly, guys, let's be honest. He's not going to be a great asset to this team. Is he still a number 1 receiver? Absolutely. But the headache that comes with him, and how is he going to grow with Mendoza?
Yeah.
If he was impatient with Josh Allen and every other single guy that he's had, now we're going to put a rookie quarterback to be his quarterback. Probably not a good recipe.
So Kat says the best playoff predictor is points scored in the red zone versus points allowed. We're good on defense, and Genty will go off in the effing red zone with Linderbaum. I expect to see an increase in touchdowns from Genty by far. And I definitely want to see Brock hit that 10 TD mark. I think he's going to be a big deal in the red zone. I wanted to see that last year. He did have more touchdowns than he did his rookie year, but I want to see him more active in the red zone, and I think you're going to see that possibly with this team. I think you're going to see Brock have a huge year, man. He's going to use the shit out of him.
But Jeff, can I ask you something? Did I miss something? Or is everybody expecting, because we got Tyler Linderbaum, to all of a sudden be able to rush for 200 yards, pass the ball all over the field? I mean, people are going, oh, well, we got Tyler Linderbaum. Well, all of a sudden, we should be able to score all these points. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. This is only one piece of the puzzle. We're still lacking pieces. Yes, you'll get better. We'll be able to run the football. There'll be better cohesion.
It's one piece of the puzzle, but it's that anchor. You anchor down, you secure that center position like we did with him. A guy that's played 4 years at center, that knows the calls, knows what he's looking for. Not saying that JPJ didn't necessarily know that, but JPJ wasn't a steady full-time center. Linderbaum's been a steady center since he came into the league. So you're getting a guy with a lot of experience on knowing what to really look for in an NFL defense. Plus, I really, really hope that their goal is to put JPJ at left guard. So if you have Miller at left tackle, JPJ at left guard, and then Linderbaum, that left side of that offense is going to be, and that's where you're going to see Genty probably eat the most is running off that left side, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So does Linderbaum make a big difference to the offensive line? Oh, hell yeah. Because now JPJ can just concentrate on playing guard. Doesn't have to worry about competition and who's going to. I think the biggest issue is going to be on the right side now between the right guard and right tackle. If JPJ goes to the left, I know right now he's slated as the right guard. The biggest question is going to be that other tackle position.
You believe Glaze is going to be the guy, and that's where
I'm not giving up on Glaze. I'm still chalking last year up as just piss poor coaching. And same thing with Caleb Rogers and Grant. They didn't get the proper coaching as rookies, and that's the worst part. Is that I think these guys didn't get to fully develop like we thought they were. Like I thought for sure Caleb Rogers was going to be in this lineup faster, and he wasn't. Just real quick, shout out to Aunt Six with the gifted 5 memberships. I thank you, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you to all new members of the Gang Green. And Aunt Six became a member himself, so thank you, brother. I appreciate you 100%, man. Thank you. You have no idea how much that means to me. It helps keep these shows running. Memberships, they start at 99 cents. So if anybody's looking to take on a membership, I am going to start doing more membership only stuff probably in the next week. I want to do a members only live mock draft with the chat involved and do something along that line within the next week before the draft actually gets here, obviously, because the week before the draft, I'm going to be a little short on time because I'm not going to be here.
Be at the draft.
Yeah. Let's see. Mike says it's not outside the realm to turn this thing around after a 3-win season. Yeah, exactly. Jeff, when we do win the Super Bowl in a few years, I want to see you in Vegas for the parade. That would probably happen. I don't think I could miss that one. As an adult, as a kid, it probably wouldn't have happened back then. But now, yeah, I think I could probably piece that together.
He's like, I
have to find a sponsor that pays for my trip out there. If you can't see what Clinton's cooking up, you definitely can see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Him and SpyTech are on the same page, man. They're gelling without a doubt.
And I mean, like, that's what has Raider Nation so excited, man.
What's up, Tanner Jack? Yeah. What's up, Matt Morris?
Oh, the Matty B. What's going on, baby?
Let's see. Genty is the ace in the red zone hole. Half the scoring that happens. What Genty specializes in, red zone within the 5. See, and this is the one thing I'm looking forward to this year. Is I want to see what Genty's going to do with the proper coaching, a good offensive scheme, a much better offensive line, a much better coached offensive line. It's going to be night and day between the coaching for this line last year versus this year. I've got a lot of faith in Dennison as the offensive line coach. He just rings true to those old school, in your face, grab you by the face mask type of guy. That's just what I see with him.
Man, you just said something so crucial right there. The run game with Ashton Genty, right? What I want to see is what's going to happen, like you said, the coaching. When this guy has an open hole, is he going to hit it? Is he going to accelerate through there? And I'll be like, that's the real exciting part for me, Jeff, is seeing the development of the offensive line. And people are going to say, oh, it's just the offensive line. Bro, if we can run the fucking football, we can win in
Yep.
December and November. And that makes you a dangerous team. And that alleviates a lot of the stress off Mendoza. If we do go number one with Mendoza, which is all indicatives are going there. You didn't have another call.
Yeah. That guy was just saying the same thing over and over again. And it sounded like he was speaking broken English, but at the very end, he sounded normal as we were hanging up. So I'm like, all right, so was this somebody pulling my leg? That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was somebody busting my chops. Because my son-in-law, his brother, and his younger brother been doing it too through every now and then. So why notice Stefan? I think he can be a number one. He was all right. So obviously, I mean, you wouldn't know this because you're not a Raiders fan, Mike. So basically, Fred Biletnikoff, who's one of the greatest, receivers the Raiders had, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP. His daughter was murdered by her was it his fiance at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fiance. It was domestic violence. And since that's happened, Fred Biletnikoff Foundation, they have a foundation or a fundraiser for his daughter. It's named after her, and he's he's big against domestic violence and such. And Stefan Diggs, with the domestic violence background that he's been involved in, it's stuff like that. That's why you won't see guys brought on that have domestic violence history as a player, just out of respect to him and his daughter and everything in the family. They won't do that to him. Him and Mark are very good friends. And Fred Biletnikoff means too much to this organization and the alumni that they wouldn't do him dirty like that. That's pretty much why you'll never see Stefan Diggs in a uniform for the Raiders. Won't happen. Yep. What's up, Anthony? Let's see. Where are we?
Yes, sir.
I think we could even use a second or third round on a left tackle in case Miller gets hurt.
That's something that we do have to address, Jeff. It's something that we too have to get a depth piece. We have to find Colton Miller's replacement. Now, is he still serviceable right now? Yeah. But is he injury prone? Yeah. So let me ask you this. Do we address this in this draft later on in the draft, Jeff? Take a risk on a left tackle that might be, that drops a little bit, maybe see something? I'm like, could you see something in the 5th round, maybe?
I don't see it as a risk. I see it as a smart move. And I said this last night, and I've said this multiple times this past week already. There's 2 positions that I think you need to draft every single draft, and that's a quarterback, regardless of who you have already, a quarterback and a left tackle. We should be always drafting a left tackle because left tackles are a hot commodity in the NFL. If you don't have a truly good left tackle or a replacement or a backup ready to go, then you're screwed because left tackles they don't grow on trees basically. So I don't see it as a risk. I see it as a necessity to draft one in this draft, but later I think the 2nd round pick still needs to go for that nose tackle. I think we need to, that will be the final piece to that defense with an early pick. Let me stand correct before people crucify me. Well, we still need a corner. We still need a safety. I get that. But we solidify that up front. That makes those guys in the secondary's job even easier because of what the damage is going to be done up front on that line with the 3-4 and how we're going to be able to get into that face of that quarterback and cause havoc, which will make the job easier for the secondary. But I definitely agree with grabbing a potential left tackle, or if they still want to keep trying Grant as a fill-in on the left side, that's fine. But we got a pre-plan. Miller's got 2 years left. We need to be ready for it because other than that, we're going to be screwed if we don't. I don't want to be spending money on a free agent left tackle that's going to cost us more than what we are paying Linderbaum. I want to bring someone in younger that we're going to pay a lesser amount for 4 years, and then we can make that decision after that.
And I agree with you there. I think for me, like what we have to do is address the issue, because what happens if Colton Miller goes down? And you can always kick a tackle inside. You know, if they don't work out as a tackle, you can move them to guard.
Yeah.
If they're stiff in the hips, if their footwork doesn't work out, if they're not fast enough to get out, so you move them inside and you get a serviceable guard.
Yeah, because I've said this before also, you know, moving a guard to tackle is very, very difficult to do, but moving a tackle to guard is easier. You know, when you're moving, Darren, I'm putting it in the chat right now. Hit Will's link. To move a guard to tackle is that's a tough transition if they've never ever played it before. If they've got experience playing it, okay. But if you're taking a guard that's never played tackle, like JPJ, him moving a tackle would not. He's too small. When you see him stand next to Miller, he's a little bit shorter. He's got a little bit stumpier arms. He's a little bit more rounder. He's not. He needs that length, basically. You know, if we can put him on a stretch rack, yeah, because he's aggressive to play the left tackle. He's got that mentality of being an aggressive left tackle, but he's too small. You know, height and length. You know, the arm span.
I agree with you. I'd be like, hey, man, I'd be like, there's certain measurables, and people go like, oh, this whole arm length thing is stupid, you know.
What's up, man? Welcome,
college players. I'm like, when you're in the pros, it matters. Because those longer guys, man, they'll just grab you. And if you don't have that length, it's over for them, because they don't have, you know, they're not fast enough with the bend to get over that edge. So then, like I'm telling you right now, man, I think we pick up a tackle. We do it in the 4th or 5th round. And the reason I say like a risk player, as in I say a guy that's dropped that was supposed to be a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder. But let's say the guy is injury prone, or the guy has some behavioral issues. I could see us taking a shot at him in the 5th round. You know, and being like, hey man, I'll take a nasty mauler that was supposed to be in the 4th or in the 3rd, pick him up in the 5th, see what we can do. Should be interesting.
Oh no, and I agree. I mean, I still think we should grab one. You know, without a doubt. Let's see, what do you say? How confident are we in Rob Leonard calling the defense this year? I think he will be average. Well, we can't say we didn't give him any pieces to the puzzle, because I think we did a hell of a job so far bringing in talent for him to coach, I think. That's not going to be the issue. I'm curious to see how this defense is going to look with him. I'm actually excited for it. I want to see what this defense actually does, you know, and we'll get that first glimpse in preseason, depending on who they put out there that week 1, you know, if they go with just backups first, or, you know, this was a topic that came up last night too, is how prepared can we really get before the season starts? And with the collective bargaining agreement and everything, and the restrictions these teams have in practices is ridiculous. I went through and I read all the rules on it today, looking at it a lot more in depth. Do you know that during the regular season, so there's 18 weeks in the season, do you know how many days in the season, regular season, that they can practice in full pads?
Isn't it by like 3 days a week or something like that? 2 or 3 days a
No,
week?
full pads, full contact and pads. How many days in an entire season do you think that they can play? They can practice in full gear and actually hit?
Yeah, it's probably like
you're gonna be shocked. I will tell you this.
It's gonna be like 30 something to 45 days.
Really?
Yeah, like
that's what you're going with?
Yeah, 30 to 40.
Yeah, what do you think it is? Before I reveal the number, and don't Google it, how many days in a season, in an 18-week season, how many days are teams allowed to have full contact padded practices in a regular season in those 18 weeks? You're going to be shocked at the answer. And if you are looking it up, Will, and you see it, don't say it.
Oh, I'm not. I'm actually looking to see if anybody's dropping down anything. 25, 23, 3, 8.
Michelangelo says, so given the background and tradition, do you think the Raiders give up on? Yeah, I don't think you're going to see Ruggs come back either.
Nope. Ruggs is never going to come back.
No. No, over here giving your channel some love too. All right, so Darren's on your channel now too. Good,
Appreciate
good.
you, Darren. Appreciate you.
And
big
don't forget,
brother.
anybody that hasn't gone to Jason, also go to Raiders First Downs and make sure you hit the sub on his channel too, please.
Yes, sir.
Let's see.
I like Amari Washington for nose tackle.
All right.
Are you
So
gonna
coach
be
says
okay?
3. So coach, you say 3 days in the entire 18 weeks. Okay. Michael Anderson says 8. Darren says 23. Matt says 25. How do we go? Rate of 15 says 15 days. Anthony says 30. Mike says 2. Coach says 14. There's one person that's close.
Romanowski will pee his pants.
One person that's close and one person that hit the number right on the head. And I think it's because coach probably looked it up, but it's 14 days. So 14 times the entire regular season is the maximum amount that they can have full contact. So how a player is supposed to get better? They can't tackle regardless. Okay. They cannot tackle at all. All right. They have to do the wrap up and, oh, I tackled you, you know. They have to do that. They can't hit. So like you won't see any kill shots or anything like that. You won't see any. So when these guys get hit hard in a game for the first time, guess what? That's the first time that they're actually getting fucking physical contact of that magnitude is in the first game that they have that happen to them. All right. So there's none of this in practice during the training camps, none of that shit. That's how bad this collective bargaining agreement is. Okay. They have to guarantee them a day off during the week. They have to give them a day off. It's not the coaches saying, oh, we're giving you Monday off. No, they have to have a day off. They have to. All right. They can do 2-a-days. And on those 2-a-days, they can only wear pads once. And the other has to be a complete just either film or walkthroughs with no physical contact. So how ready do you, so now put yourself in the shoes of being a head coach. How ready do you think you can get your team, especially as a new head coach with a bunch of new players, rookie draft picks coming in here, free agents, everything else that you've done? How adequately do you think that a coach can get a team ready for the season?
Okay. 2 different things, right? When we look at having padded practices and full contact practices, this is the reason guys are getting injured in the NFL so often.
Coach.
Okay? Guys in the NFL not going hard in practice, trying to go hard one day a week. Man, I mean, like we coach it at the lowest level. We tell kids, you're practice the way that you play. You practice and you repeat these motions in order to perfect them.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to the NFL, shouldn't you be perfecting that as well? Continuously working on that motion to tackle. This is why we have so many missed tackles, Jeff. This is why so many players get injured because of poor tackling, poor ability to manage space, everything like that. At the end of the day, the NFL is doing a disservice to its players by not allowing them to go out there and harden their bodies and master their skill. So this is a very difficult thing for me because at 14 days, if I'm looking at it as a defensive coordinator, okay, I can teach you strategy. I can teach you board work any day of the week. But Jeff, how do I know the way that you're going to react when certain things are happening if I don't know if you can tackle?
Mm-hmm.
In 14 days, I get it. You're a professional. But how am I supposed to know how well you can tackle besides the other guys? I got a bunch of professionals, you know, and everybody is practicing to do their thing. So I have a lot of questions as to why they only allow 14 days of padded practice. I'd be like, I could see 3 days of padded practices, 2 days of padded practices, but to have 14 total days? Jeff, I don't think you can make a team more physical. You either have to have a team that's physical from the get, or they're going to be soft from the get. I'll be like, you can't instill anything into a young man with 14 days of hard practice.
Now think about it. So that's 18 weeks, right? 18-week long season, 17 games. So out of those 18 weeks, there's weeks where you might go 2 weeks without actually physical contact.
Yeah.
Like head-on offensive line versus defensive line. Okay? So I'm going to read this to you. So this is part of my research that I pulled up going through all this today. Okay? So we're going to start this. So the first 5 days in training camp, okay? Basically, it's don't kill the players day one. So from day 1 through 1 and 2, helmets only. Day 3 and 5, light pads, no hitting. All right. So basically, coaches can't go full psycho anymore. Okay. The first 5 days, you got to treat them like they're kids. Give them their orange slices and their Capri Suns and let them do what they got to do. Okay. So after day 5, full pads are allowed, but hitting is limited. And there's a hard cap of only 14 padded practices in total. Only 11 of those can have real hitting. So even during training camp, they can only have 14 padded practices. How long's training camp, Will?
Like 2 months or 6 weeks.
Okay. So out of that entire time, only 14 actual padded practices, and only 11 of those you can have real hitting. So 11 practices during training camp is the only time that you can have physical contact with another player. So why do you think receivers can't hang on to the ball when they're getting hit, or corners can't do what they can do in game time situations because they're not practicing things? Running backs fumble the ball like crazy because you know why? They're not getting hit. Yeah, they can run through the gauntlet and everything, hold on to the ball and those wiggly arms smack at them. That's not the same thing as a 300-pound man trying to tackle you and rip the ball out of your hands. Okay? Because you can't even tackle. You can't even tackle them. You have to just touch them. Oh, I got you. I got you. You're good. You know, when I was in high school and in semi-pro, dude, we smacked the living shit out of each other. Some guys went home looking worse than after playing in a game after practice. It's like, what the fuck?
Practice
So these
makes
kids, you can't even do anything with these guys anymore. The collective bargaining agreement has just decimated how physical these guys can be, and it's all about the injuries. And I get it. You want to protect the players. Trust me, I so get it. The only player that should be on the practice field that is untouchable is your quarterback. Everything else should be fair game. I'm sorry. Quarterbacks should not be touched. That's why they wear the red shirts. You see red, you stop. You know, I get that part. But, man, everybody else should be fair game. So why do you think there's so many more fumbles in the NFL right now? I'm willing to bet that's a good chunk of it right there.
Absolutely. Jeff, you just said there's 25 full padded practices for a whole season, including.
Well, during training camp, there's 14. During the regular season, it's also 14.
28.
So for 18 weeks, you can only have 14 padded practices. So there's weeks where, like I said, you will go 2 weeks without physical contact.
How do we expect players to get better? How do we expect defenses to do what they got to do? I'd be like, honestly, Jeff, like, let's be real. With that, you're basically saying, hey, we're not practicing tackling. Whatever you're going to practice is basically flag football.
Yep.
Two-hand touch.
They do practice in full pads without contact. During training camp, they can practice 14 times in full pads, but only 11 of those can be full contact. So only 11 times during the entire summer training camp can you physically smash into one another. Now, does that count also when they do these live scrimmages against other teams? That's the other thing. I don't know if there's difference for that. So I'm still reading through it as I go here. All right. So I'm just trying to catch up. So Mike Guerrero's here. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
What up, Mike?
No, the hats are the same. Will's lighting's a little different. He's a little.
No, mine is just older and grimier.
I went mine out of the house.
Jeff got his all nice and pristine. I rock this thing everywhere.
Yep. Oh, and you're right, Darren. That's why old players say players today are soft. They are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
You
100%.
know, why do you think? Why do you think the big term that came out the last few years is business, making a business decision?
Mhm.
Because they don't get in practice. They don't want to get smacked in a game. So guess what? They're not going to be laying themselves out to get a ball. You know, because they don't want to get that fight. They hear the footsteps. They know they're going to get lit up. So, what
No
the fuck?
lies.
By the time the thick guys realize speed dies, according to Madden's theory, hit the speed out the ass. The game is cute, and yeah, it is. It's cute now. Yeah, fumbles are a huge part of it now. Of course, that's why, as starved Raider fans, we need to ignore reports about how the offense and defense look coming out of camp. Exactly.
100%.
Exactly. I am so glad Coach said that, because that is 100%
Yes.
the most accurate thing anybody's said so far tonight. And
and he said it, man. I'll be like, every year, Jeff, this is
Yep.
what I hear. The beat writers are like, oh, the offense looks amazing. They were great in the red zone. We're in there. Max Crosby's getting sacks after sack after sack.
yeah. So
Well,
put that in perspective now with some, and I'm not even done with the information. There's shit more to go with that. It's absolutely ludicrous. I'm telling you, it's going to become a flag football league. National Flag League is what it's going to be.
Yep.
It's going to be the NFFL. They're going to change the name at some point. It's going to be the National Flag Football League. I'm telling you. Notice the towels that these guys wear the last few years. What do they look like? What do they look like? Right?
Oh,
I called this out a few years ago, and somebody said I was absolutely out of my mind. But look at the towels that some of these guys wear, especially your skill positions, like your wide receivers and your running backs. Not so much your quarterbacks and your corners. They wear these thin-ass stripped towels. They look like little terry cloths that hang off their hips, or they hang them off the back of their ass.
mm-hmm.
You tell me why they've been wearing those. Before, it used to be like a full hand towel hanging out of their pants. Now it's just little strip. What the hell's that doing? What? Why are they wearing those?
Getting ready for Flag Football League.
I'm telling you, that is part of it. People thought I was fucking crazy, but I'm seeing them more and more now. So you tell me, what good is that tiny little towel gonna do? You wipe your lips while you're out there? What the fuck are you gonna do that? You can't clean your hands with that. Couldn't even wipe your ass with that if you had to. What the fuck?
Oh, man.
Yeah, could you imagine hockey with the same rules where they can't have contact in practice and all that?
Jeff, this is what I don't understand. I'd be like, can I get it? You know, you do have to protect players, and you can't just
What's up,
go
Dave?
padded practices 5 days
Mhm.
a week. Makes no sense to have padded practices 5 days a week. But when you're going with that amount of padded practices for a whole season, 28?
Yep.
I'll be like, bro, the freaking season's 6-7 months long. What are you doing the rest of the time? I'd be like, Jeff, how does the defense practice tackling? What linebacker is going to come and fill the hole on a ghost?
They can't. That's just it, because they can't tackle. Hold on, I'm going to read some more of this, right? So, it says no double down beat downs, which means two-a-days do exist, but there's strict rules. Only one practice can have on full pads. The other has to be a walkthrough, basically practice in slow motion. So no more double session full contact days like they used to do, where you would show up in the morning, you go out on the field and you beat the piss out of each other. Then you'd get the rest of the afternoon off to do what you want. You came back later in the evening and you had your second practice and you go to do the same. That's how it was when I was in high school. 2 days, man, during the summer. We would go out there in the morning very early. Everybody would be puking up their orange juice and everything else. And then you come back in the afternoon, like around 4:00, and you'd have your nighttime session, and just beat the shit out of each other twice a day for a whole week. Sometimes we did it two weeks, So there's that, right? So that's the double sessions. The next one is players must go home and rest. Players must get 1 day off per week. Okay. This is during training camp. And there's other stuff for the season too, which I'm going to go over. And you can't hit every day. Coaches can't just hit every practice. Contact days are limited and they're spaced out. All right.
Come
So
on,
the
man.
the simplest way to put this is the first 5 days, absolutely no hitting. After that, you can hit, but it's only on a strictly limited number of times. Okay. So if we look at old NFL versus new NFL, so the old NFL was hitting every day, 2-a-days, full contact, and it was basically survival of the toughest. Okay. The new NFL, limited hitting, scheduled contact, player safety first. Now, trust me, I get the player safety part. I totally understand that. But how are you as a coach able to actually
You can.
prepare your team?
You can prepare them mentally. That's
Yeah,
it.
but how can
Physically,
that's it.
yeah. And
You need to prepare them physically.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't prepare them. I'd be like, and then people are gonna go, oh, you know what? Rob Leonard, he's soft. Oh, his defense plays soft. Well, it's not that Rob Leonard is soft, is that bro, he doesn't have the ability to make his team hard.
Yep.
He doesn't have the ability to go out there and make these guys tough. I'd be like, you can't even test toughness. I mean, like, and don't get me wrong, you're already tough by playing this game at a very high level. But at the same time, when you got other dudes out there that are just working at that same level, you got to see what they got. And this, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't think this hamstrings the players. This hamstrings the coaches. Because, Jeff, as you and I know, there's some dudes that are just out there and they're dogs. They're just physical. They're a dude that wants to go out there and knock the crap out of everybody. And then you got the prima donnas. The guys that look like they're going to knock the crap out of everybody. Looks like Tarzan plays like Jane. Was the biggest thing that I used to hear, right?
Yep.
So you have to be able to evaluate that. Tell me in 14 days of you being in the offseason, you're going to be able to evaluate your players to say, hey, that's my best tackler. As a rookie defensive coordinator. And I hope people are patient with Rob Leonard. You got to realize he's going to make a mistake.
Oh, they have to be. They have to be.
You got to realize he's going to make mistakes. He's going to make bad play calls, but he's going to make some great ones. And I want to see if he goes, when he makes a mistake, if he becomes more aggressive or if he backs down. I want to see his personality, and I want to see if this defense takes on his personality, you know, Jeff? Because there's some defensive coaches that once they make a mistake, they take their foot off the gas pedal. They go like, oh, no, we got to stay in our base cover 3 now because we just got burned or I didn't make the right play call. But there's some dudes, man, that they're like, hey, man, I made the wrong play call, but we're still coming.
Yeah.
I want to see which one he falls under. You know, are we going to be aggressive? Are we going to be passive? Are we going to be in a base cover 3? What are we going to do?
Dave, these rules. It's all part of the players union. So it's current players. I mean, I'm sure the NFL's got some say in this too, obviously, because, you know, they have to ultimately agree to all this too. But I'm sure there's some former players that were pushing for this too, because they see what they're going through with their life and they don't want to see these kids going through it when they get older too. And again, I get the player safety, but I mean, come on, man.
And let's be real.
You know what you signed up for. You didn't sign up. This isn't the national tiddlywinks competition. This is a violent sport. You know,
100%.
You're talking about human beings running full speed at each other, off size too. On top of that, you're talking about a 300-pound guy chasing down a running back, and you know damn well when he gets that running back, he ain't going soft on him in a game. Or a quarterback. You see how some of these quarterbacks take these hits. I mean, you don't know how they don't sever their neck on some of these blindside hits. It's brutal. It really is. You know?
Agreed.
And Kaz is right, too. It's like, you know, you call a guy soft, you know, you call a guy out for being soft and you're considered toxic. It's like, oh, why are you saying that? Well, because he is. But it's proven that he is because of how they practice. You know?
Exactly.
Gruden spoke about the difficulty of coaching in the offseason before because of the rules. And the rules got even worse lately. That's the thing. They were a little bit more lenient recently, but lately they've gotten tougher. Yeah, looks like Tarzan plays like Tyree Wilson. What's up, Chewy? What's going on, man? Yeah, that's like spending your life shadow boxing and then jumping in the ring with Mike Tyson. Good luck. No contact. Don't know what it's like to take a hit. You can't hit anybody. No sparring, no nothing. Just box with your shadow, and then hey, you got to fight with Mike Tyson tomorrow. Huh, what? Huh?
That's exactly what we're doing now. Look at the way that the NFL is saying that we're going to prepare these guys to play the most physical game of football. We're going to be like, hey, you're only going to practice with pads 28 times the whole season, but we're going to pull a hell of a show on out there. This is why people get frustrated, Jeff. This is why when people go like, oh, why'd that guy miss that tackle? This is answering a lot of questions for me right now. I didn't know that we could only have 28 padded practices for the whole year.
The more you know.
Under a wrong assumption. And I'll be honest. I was under the assumption that we had 2 to 3 padded practices a week. Mm-hmm. And you go just like you do when you're in high school and college.
Yep.
But now that you're telling me that they only have 28 during the whole season.
No, well, actually, you got to look at it. It's 14 and 14. That's how you have to look at it, though. Because it's not like if you don't use 14 during the preseason, you carry them over. So you got to look at it as 2 different seasons. You got the training camp. You got from the start of training camp until the last preseason practice week. So in that time frame, you can only have 14 full pad practice, but only 11 times out of those 14 you can physically hit. During the 18-week season, you can have 14 padded practices where you actually hit. So like I said, there's weeks where you'll go 2 weeks without actually physical contact during during practice during the week of the regular season.
Jeff, my favorite thing to tell my guys when I coach is we practice hard in order for them for the game to be easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. Jeff, how in the fuck are you going to practice hard when you can't hit somebody, when you can't do what you're supposed to do in a game and bring that level of intensity? How am I supposed to get better if you can't push me to my absolute limit every day in practice? You're wasting my time. Why is the NFL sitting there hamstringing their players and their coaches?
But it's not the NFL, Will.
For product.
It's not the NFL. It's the players' union that's doing this. They're the ones that come up with these safety rules for the players. They present it to the NFL, and it's part of the collective bargaining agreement. It's part of the structure of the contract.
There has to be.
So it's not the NFL. It's the players.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if this doesn't get fixed, Jeff, the quality of this game is going to continue to diminish. Mm-hmm. And everybody sees it right now. Guys are not getting better as quickly as they should. Guys miss a lot of tackles. Guys don't improve. Go ahead.
Here's another thing I think where this plays into this too. So we're getting ready for the draft to come up, right? So there's going to be 200 and something rookies drafted, and then however many hundreds of undrafted free agents that will be brought onto teams before training camp starts. Okay, so all these rookies go into training camp. They haven't experienced what it's like to get hit by an NFL-style player, okay? For the last 4 or 5 years, they've been getting hit by college players, their same size, their same speed, basically. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the NFL. So there's only 11 times between now and the start of the season where you're going to be able to physically be hit by an NFL player on your own team, so you know they're not going to hit you as hard as what they would if they were from another team. So after the preseason games are done, because even in preseason, a lot of these games aren't like knocking each other out and shit like that. They go a little easier there too. So not until week 1, if one of these kids that's a rookie is a starter, will they know what it's like to get hit at full speed. No bars hold, no hold bars, or no bars held, and just get the snot hit out of you for the first time in your first pro NFL game, because you can't do it in practice. Your own teammate's not going to hit you hard enough to possibly knock the shit out of you. It's going to happen your very first game, and then people are going to be like, "Oh, he dropped the ball on that. Oh, he's got bad hands." What do you expect? The guy can't take hits in practice because they can't give hits in practice except for 11 of them. And their own teammates aren't going to go out there and try and make a statement and knock the fucker out, especially if he's a talented rookie that they brought in early. Like, do you think they were going to go out there and smack Genty around last year? Hell no. Were they going to go out there and smack Betch around? No, he's a second-round pick. You know, you're not going to be going out there and smacking these guys. But I'll tell you what, their first game, they're going to get lit up. They make one wrong move, they're going to get lit the bug up. Yep. You know, Betch especially. If he's going across the middle trying to catch a ball and he's not paying attention and his blind side gets smacked, guess what? He's going to be picking up his teeth like chiclets. You know, that's the first experience. Hey, welcome to the NFL, guys. You know, and then you wonder why some of these guys start so slow when they come out as rookies sometimes, because they're not in tune with it. They're not used to this, just that smash mouth. You know, why do you think the penalties are so nasty lately too on late hits? And, you know, you can't hit this way, you can't hit that way. It's like, what the fuck?
I'd be like, Jeff, how are we supposed to practice how to hit when we get limited amounts to hit that strike zone, to get muscle memory, to get there? I'd be like, at the end of the day, what we're doing is saying, hey, man, we're good with the shitty product.
It's definitely an inferior product.
And I love the fact that we just came out and said it. Bro, look at how much more injuries we have now. How many more guys are like really quick to be like,
right here? He just said it too.
Yeah,
it's exactly what he said right here. He says, what's great is injuries are way up. Why? Because guys haven't calloused their bodies to take any kinds of beating. You're right.
Yes,
you're right. Why do you think a contusion on the thigh for your first shot is so bad? Because you know what? You've never been hit like that before, you know, or a stinger to the shoulder or to the arm. You know, you see the guy walk out, he doesn't have a dislocated shoulder, but his arm's just hanging there because he just got such a stinger. He's not used to getting hit like that. You know, guys have to come out of a game for a couple of plays.
And you said it. Dude, you just went from being the biggest guy on the block, the biggest bully on the block, to being one of the smaller guys, the guy that isn't in his grown man body. Although we do got some guys coming out of college, 26 years old now. But I mean,
that's just it.
You know, that's the NIL. But I'm telling you, it's like you said, when a rookie comes in and a professional, a guy that's been in the league 12 years in his grown-ass man body, comes down that pipe and knocks the holy bejesus out of you, bro, it makes you question a lot of fucking things. And if you can't do that in practice to callous your body, to prepare yourself, what are we doing to these young men, Jeff? Are we setting them up for success or failure?
Failure. We're not preparing them right. So I'm going to read this. Now, what I read you earlier was just training camp. So you're ready for the season one? Because this gets good.
Go ahead.
So, all right. So teams only get, like I said earlier, 14 padded practices the entire season. Okay. But if you skip a few weeks, you can't stockpile them, basically. So you can only still have a maximum of one padded full contact practice during the regular season. So if you go 2 weeks without hitting and you want to do, like, say, a Wednesday, Thursday, full contact, full pads, you can't do it. Because there's always somebody watching. There's always a rep from the union there. So they won't be able to actually, they still can only do one full contact padded practice a week, regardless of how many you've used out of those 14 throughout the season. Okay.
Okay.
Here's another rule. Huh?
You better not miss a week then. I'll be like,
yeah, exactly. Right. So here's another rule. No real tackling. So no taking guys to the ground. Okay. So they cannot tackle, like I said earlier. There's no full speed collisions. So what you end up getting is you get that thud where they wrap you up and they don't finish. Like you'll hit, but it's just wrap and that's it. So it's a hit and stop. That's it. So you hit, but you don't hit. You kind of get it? All right.
Just so stupid. Jeff,
yeah.
So stupid.
Here's the next one. Most practices are considered soft. So a typical week is full of walkthroughs light practices and film study, and maybe this week we'll get out and hit. Maybe not. So if we don't, we have to give you a day off. But that limits us, especially now with short. This is why short weeks are such a big deal if you think about it. So if your team plays on Sunday and they're going to play Thursday, but they have to travel. So say the Raiders played on Sunday in Vegas, right? But now they got a Thursday night game against the Chiefs. Okay, so you lose you got to travel on Wednesday because you got to be there the day before. So that gives you. Do they take Monday off or do they practice? Do they go full? No, they're not going to go full pads. They just played a game on Sunday, so everybody's all banged up. So Monday's either a day off or walk through. Tuesday's probably a light practice. Wednesday is probably film study. Then they're hopping on the bus to go to the airport, and then the day of the game. So that's why short weeks are such a big deal. That's why it's more of an issue with these short weeks. So this is the shit that we're talking about. Is how do you start with a new head coach and such an influx of new players and youth? The draft picks. We got 10 guys that are going to be entering this roster after the draft, plus all the undrafted free agents. So you're going to have 20 plus, maybe 30 plus new young faces in here that have never been hit by an NFL player before, partaking in this, and they're going to be extremely limited to the exposure they get. So how do you grow players like this? That's why draft picks are such a big deal in the early part of the draft, because those are the guys that have been playing hard, and the guys that are going to be able to translate better into the NFL life. Your later round picks, everybody always says, oh, you can find gems later on, but I'll tell you right now, I guarantee they're not going to be as NFL ready as these other guys up front in the first couple of rounds. Absolutely not.
Man.
We're not done yet. There's more. And the next one is you get a day off. So you get one day off per week. So they can't grind for 7 straight days like they used to. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye week is even more chill. So there's even less practice time. It's more of a focus on recovery. So when they have their bye week, it's not 2 weeks of practices. They might get the entire week after that Sunday game. So say the Raiders play this Sunday, they're playing tomorrow, then their bye week, they go on their bye week. So now they got 2 sets of weekdays off. So they may get that entire week off after the Sunday game so they can regenerate, reheal, and then, they might show up over the weekend, go through light workouts, film, and then comes Monday, they may go back to, showing up every day and going through full practices. So the bye week is there to help.
More light workouts and more film? That's what you're saying?
Pretty much. Or a complete week off.
My gosh, bro.
Okay.
Jeff, how do they practice? When do they actually practice?
They don't. Technically, they don't.
Practice.
I'm going to take this even one step further. Playoff rule practices. All right. So for playoffs, it's the same rules as regular season, just a tighter control, basically. So you still can't just start hitting out there. All right. So there's still 14 padded practices. The limit still applies. Most teams are already near or at the cap by the playoffs. So those 14, here's the one thing I didn't tell you. So when I gave you the number earlier, about 14 practices in an 18-week season, those 14 count for the playoffs too.
What? So if you've already used all your padded practices for the playoffs, you're literally just out there in like gym shorts and like t-shirts for 3 weeks?
Cannot do padded practices, which means you cannot do full contact throughout the playoff practices.
Wow, man. Wow.
Right? How fucked up is that, man? I got to catch up with the chat.
Hey, if any
what's up, Blazer?
Backup QB, call me.
What's up, John?
Call me. I'm available for the backup QB position for any
What's up,
team,
John?
especially with the limited 28 practices.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Spytech emphasizes traits. There's more too. I'm not done yet. Because he knows you need tough motherfuckers in the draft or you're wasting your time. Yep. Jeff, it's funny. And I was glad about flag football draft. Brady didn't draft Adams because of all the bad talk he did about us. I don't blame him either. Light practices are called thud. Yeah. What's up, Frenchie? Yeah, they call them thuds.
Thud. Hi,
That's
thud.
what they're called. You make that thud, then you wrap them up, and that's considered a hit in practice.
Jeff, dude, I'm laughing
What's up,
right now
man?
because I'm telling you, man, we do high thud with little kids and like middle schoolers and then some high schools, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We do that when they're warming up to get for the game. Like, hey, we're gonna go high thud. We don't want to get injured before the game, so we're gonna go high thud real quick. High thud, ready, go. And I'm like, what the hell are you? These guys are doing this in the NFL? Like, this is why we suck. This is why guys don't finish tackles and don't take guys to the ground.
Dude, when I was a kid, we used to play fucking tackle football in the street and not in dirt roads. I'm talking about fucking pavement with cement sidewalks and you run to the car and take a right. If you weren't careful, you'd run into the car. Okay.
Yeah. We had the same thing. Like, this is really diminishing the player's toughness, their ability to be durable, like they said. And I mean, like, bro, this is really answering a lot of the questions, Jeff, as why defense is so poor now.
Hold on. I didn't know I had to build something in my house. Am I supposed to build something? The fuck? I don't know. He said he goes, this show is as fucking stupid as fucking you spend more time on here than building something in your house. What do we need to build? The wife doesn't shop at IKEA. I don't have to put anything together. So what the fuck am I building? I don't need to build anything. I'm done, brother. I've got everything I need. I'm happy. I'm enjoying the rest of my life right now. Having that coach we stole from Giants, man. He's a great guy. We don't like soft tackles. He wants to hurt wide receivers. Love it. Yeah, but they can't practice it.
Yeah.
So here's the rest of this, right? So here's the thing. So the 14 padded practices, it's all part of that 14 for the entire season. And it says most teams are already near or at the cap by the playoff time. So which is when you need to adjust. So if you save a few towards the end of the season, knowing that you're gonna say you're gonna win your division, you know you're going to the playoffs. Do you want to bank one or two of those just in case you go further? Because don't forget, if you make it to the championship game and you win and you're going to the Super Bowl, you got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks of sitting around not having full contact. Guys get soft.
Man.
Their bodies start to soften up again after those 2 weeks if you're not out there physically hitting. But I'm going to continue, right? So padded practices is still once a week, okay? But that's padded, not contact. So you still have 14 full contacts, but you can still limit to one practice per week. Many teams end up going to 0 padded practices in the playoffs because they don't have it. They don't have it. During the playoffs, there's no live tackling to the ground, and it's that same thud tempo. All right. So you're seeing hitting, but you're not seeing hitting in the playoff practices. All right. So practice basically becomes game plan, situational football, like third downs and red zones, film study, walkthroughs. So basically they work on sharpening the brain, not and just protect the body during the playoffs. So again, rest is everything. They still get mandatory days off. Recovery is prioritized. All right. So Super Bowl week, it's even lighter. Practices are shorter, so they have less time to practice, even less contact, plus all the media distractions. Okay. So basically they're not even maintaining anything. They're not building anything leading up to the playoffs. You better have all your shit together before you leave to go to the Super Bowl week festivities.
You ain't lying.
Because that week from that Sunday, when they have the Pro Bowl, from that Sunday till the Super Bowl, your days are pre-planned in advance for you because you've got media events, you've got limited film study, you've got to have interviews like crazy on the side, with the TV show, with the TV channels. They're going to be talking to you. whoever's broadcasting the game. So that week prior to the Super Bowl, you even have less time to prepare for the Super Bowl. So all your prep work gets done while you're still at your home facility before you leave for wherever the game's being held.
Jeff, it sounds
Right?
like all your prep work has to be done before the season.
Mhm.
Like literally. But I'm going to tell you, man, this sounds like
What's up, man? What's going on?
recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Having no padded practices because you only are allowed in so many for the whole season, including the playoffs.
Yep.
This is why the NFL's recipe for success gets this from me. Is poor planning. And that is
I wasn't even planning on talking about this tonight. I was going to do a separate show altogether on this, but we kind of somehow
put in there.
Blended right into this. But here's the other thing. This is basically like the reality check with the playoff practices. By the time you get the playoffs, your body's beat to shit. The teams have to rely on now muscle memory, the chemistry, the execution, it's not the practice reps. So basically, in the short story and all this, by the playoffs, you are who you are. There's no practice. No practice is going to fix anything leading up to the Super Bowl. So by the time you're done with that championship game, that's it. That's who your team is.
Correct.
There's no time to fix anything that really needs to be fixed in a physical aspect, in walkthroughs and all that. It's all going to have to be done on paper or in the playbook, which is all digital, obviously. But that's it. By the time you hit the playoffs, your team is what your team is. There's no perfecting anything going forward. You've done what you can during the regular season, which is why you see some teams fall short in the playoffs. They come in with this high energy that they're going to be great, and then they call shit. Phone call. You're on Raider Nation Voices. State your name. Can't understand you. You have to call back. Less practice and contact requires days off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was hitting dudes harder than they ever will be. Yeah, exactly. When you watched him in practices, when they were warming up and he's over there trying to tackle these guys, he was already hitting them harder than they would each other in practice. That's a sad part.
No lie.
Right. So, I mean, it's just insane how, again, I guess I'll ask you this. Would you allow more contact in the playoffs to shopping teams, or do you think that's too risky at that point? I mean, are they doing the right thing by not?
So here's the thing, right? If your team is healthy, you're in a totally different position than a team that's unhealthy. But you need to allow those teams to be able to continue to refine their craft. And especially because defense is so crucial when it comes to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So guys not practicing tackling, not practicing the main skill to stop people, it is the biggest reason why guys get hurt. They fall into bad tendencies. They take bad angles because they haven't repeated the motion. So for me, I think it's important for the NFL to realize that they do need some sort of contact at that level, because guess what, man? Usually those two teams are pretty fucking good. And that one stop will make a huge difference. And them not, I guess we are a points-driven and an offense-driven league, but you still need to practice defense.
Oh, yeah.
If not, let's just turn into the NBA. Shoot a bunch of threes, run up and down the court.
Oh, yeah. From what I hear, everybody talking about the NBA, there's no defense
There's
anymore.
no defense in the NBA
You don't have any Dennis Rodmans out there, blocking shots and doing all that shit. And there's none of that anymore. That game has changed too.
Bro,
hockey, there's still fights and there's still a lot of physical contact in hockey, without a doubt. Football.
Yeah. We've been changing the rules so much. Look at it. We've changed the strike zone. We have a strike zone, Jeff. Like you gotta like before it used to be like all the way down from the knees all the way up to here. Like your coach was just like, hey man, just hit somebody, hit something and grab on. Now they're like, oh no, you can't hit in between this zone and this zone because you know that you can't hit a quarterback.
You can't hit below the knee, especially on a quarterback. You can't lunge at them. You have to be within
breathe on them.
Yeah, you have to be within one step. If you hit them, you can't be 2 steps out and then hit them. That's a penalty.
You can't fall on them with your full weight.
Yeah, and I mean, not for nothing. I'm 300, if I'm 300 and something pounds and I'm tackling a quarterback and I'm coming straight at him, how am I gonna just magically shift my entire body midair or as mid-fall to not land on him? Does anybody understand the law of physics? I mean, you can. It's well, I guess the magic bullet's right then. I mean, that's the same fucking thing if you think about it.
Yep.
You know, it's fucking midair, change direction. Oh yeah, I got it.
Jeff, I never in my life, bro. When people go like, "Oh yeah, he got flagged because he fell with all his weight on the quarterback."
Yeah,
I'm like, you're tackling somebody. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to be like, is 70% of my weight?
When you see a player try and hold up the quarterback as they're falling, he puts his arm out to hold him up. First of all, if he puts his arm out to try and hold himself up, there's a chance he could break his arm too. I mean, you'll see it, somebody walking down the sidewalk, they trip or fall. What's your natural reaction? You put your hands out in front of you. You cannot not do it. Okay? If you know you're going to fall and you're a stuntman, that's different. But when you're walking and you unexpectedly trip and start to fall, what's the first thing you do?
You reach out.
Put your hands out.
Yeah.
So if he's trying to fall and stop himself and he's hanging on to this quarterback and he's falling and he tries to put his arm out so he doesn't put all his weight down on him, now he could cause damage to his elbow, his forearm, his shoulder, you know. Oh my God, just let these guys toughen up. Let them fucking take a hit.
And here's
the horse collar. I mean, I get the horse collar, the hip tackle, the hip drop.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore. You know, I mean, I get some of these. I get it. The horse collar, I definitely understand because that was bad.
The hip drop is tough, man.
That's because I see guys get flagged for it, but it doesn't look like it's not a full hip drop. But
it's too tough to. And plus, what happens if you're undersized?
You
know, you have to use some different technique to bring bigger guys down. You can't just straight up go, "Oh, I'm going to square up on a 250-pound linebacker and I'm only or running back and I'm only 120 pounds and I'm just going to square up on this guy."
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Yeah. Says always remember what the coach said when in doubt, lay someone out. Oh, without a doubt. Just make sure your helmet's on the front side of the shoulder pads, not on the back side, so you don't get the penalty. As long as you hit him on the chest side, on the front side, you're good. You won't get nailed for it.
Oh man,
what's up, Dixon Sider? So the biggest issue with the team is that we haven't drafted him into. Oh, get out of here! What's up, Dixon? Coaches and players have to stay up to date with rule changes each year. It's ridiculous how much the rules change when it comes to things you can't do. Exactly.
Agreed.
Players know which coaches are going to baby them and which dudes will demand blood. And that's what I think you're going to get with Dennison. You're going to get that tough old school coach mentality. And I absolutely love it.
But you know what, Jeff?
What's up, Kenneth?
You agree too that there has to be a balance. So even when I went to the Marines, right? When you go to boot camp, they have the heavy hat. They have the guy that is kind of like in the middle, and then they have the guy that's like the Papa Bear, that like kind of like, you know, kind of soft guy. They call him the senior. Bro, you have to have that. You have to have those different characters in-house in order to take care of these players. Because there's going to be some coaches that are going to be like really hard on some players. And they're really easy on others. But players need this, man. People need to realize that they're still human beings. Yes, I get they paid millions of dollars to play a game, but you just can't go out there and be like, oh man, like you got to go out there and freaking.
Hey, we got a phone call coming in.
Let's go.
Yeah, RAIDER Nation Voices, state your name.
It's your old pal Kenneth here.
Hey, Kenneth, what's up? Well, just so
Hey,
you
I
know,
was
Kenneth is a Texans fan. He calls me every Friday night on my Friday night show. He's a good
Let's
kid. I like him.
go.
I was just wanting to comment on that issue that you brought up. What's the biggest issue with the Raiders?
Mhm.
I would say it would probably be the mentality of the team in general. To be absolutely honest with you,
Yeah, I mean, it definitely showed last year. That's for damn sure. I mean, I think we might have that hopefully fixed for this season. Will, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna ask him. So he said the
now I
mentality.
do have to say, in that game that y'all played against us, y'all
Yeah.
get against my Texans.
Yeah.
Y'all gave us one heck of a battle.
Yeah, Will was at that game. My co-host here, Will, he was at that game in Houston. He was there.
I was there, man.
And I do have to give y'all credit. Y'all gave us one heck of a battle.
Yeah,
even
I
though
wasn't
we beat
expecting
y'all,
that.
even though we beat y'all, y'all gave us one heck of a battle. I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that game, not at all. Will, were you expecting that type of game to see in person?
So I wasn't expecting that type of game because of the game from Philly when you were telling us about Philly, but the way that they came out and fought really did impress me. I mean, like it was a well played game, back and forth, just like he said. But let me
Was that
ask you
game
a
after Philly or before?
Yeah, no, it was after. Remember,
Which is amazing. Which is amazing because what I saw in Philly was nothing like what happened in Houston.
Oh,
That
no.
was disgusting.
But let me ask him this.
You do have to give us credit though.
Oh, yeah,
During that
definitely.
game-
Hang on. Will's got a question for you. You're not going to be able to hear him, but I'm going to have to relay it. Go ahead, Will.
So because he's a Texans fan, D'Amico Ryans really came in there and changed that organization. Does he believe that the head coach has a lot to do with the culture and the way that the program is run will make a big difference, especially for the Raiders with Kubiak now?
All right. So he said basically with D'Amico Ryans there as your head coach, how did you word that about changing the culture?
He changed the culture there.
He changed the culture for the Texans. Do you think that Kubiak's going to be able to do the same thing for us? Is that pretty much what
It,
it is?
it is quite possible because you should see how Seattle played last season when Kubiak was there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he can employ that same philosophy that he had when he was in Seattle with the Raiders, it could very well happen. To be absolutely honest.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've got hope. I got a lot of hope.
I mean, I wouldn't
season.
necessarily say they go from worst to first, but I would say it's possible for very strong improvement from the Raiders heading into next season.
I mean,
But
just
I'm
just
talking
the
the
roster.
mentality, like the mentality part that he was talking about.
Yeah, like the
Yeah, like-
mentality part. Will was wondering, like the mentality part. Is that what you? How did you word it, Will? I gotta figure out how to get this to work right so they can hear you, because this is a pain in the ass. Because anytime somebody wants to give me information related to the caller, whether it's you or Jason, it's like you can't just ask me like a 20, like a small little thing. It's gonna be like this minute-long thing, and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna remember all that to say to them?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, and just so you know, the team that you thought was going to beat my horns ended up getting beat by my horns.
He's a Texas
fan.
Longhorn fan.
Yeah.
Because you thought Gonzaga was going to beat my horns. My
Yeah,
horns
did
ended
I
up
pick
winning.
Oh yeah, I did
Yes,
pick them.
The final count was 74-68.
68. Yep. No, that sucks.
Yeah, we
I had, how far did I have Gonzaga? Oh shit, man! I had Gonzaga going all the way to the Final Four too. Shit.
Now, to find out who my horns play next, we gotta wait and see who wins out of Miami and Purdue.
Miami and Purdue. That's tomorrow, Sunday, at noon. Okay.
Yeah, whoever wins out of that's gonna play my horns.
Yep. I picked UConn to win it all, so
That could happen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Anyway,
what,
my man, I do.
my
You know
best
what?
my best bracket on here is the Midwest bracket. I've only lost one out of that entire bracket.
I fared on the ladies' side. I have fared pretty well, to be absolutely honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't do the women's one. I did just the men's bracket. I'm in a
I mean,
pool
my
with some
bracket
other
was
guys.
complete. I did pretty well on the men. I did pretty well on the men. My best was on the women, but I fared pretty well on the men.
No, that's good.
Anyway, my man, I do appreciate you taking my call.
No problem,
and
I appreciate you
I'll wait
calling in,
here.
man.
I'll wait and call you probably Friday.
Yep, I'll see you Friday night, man. I'll be on.
All right, later.
Take care. Good. He's a cool kid. I like him. He calls in every Friday night, talks about the Texans. That's what I'm trying to get on a Friday night is fans from other teams calling in, and he calls in religiously, which is fine. I love it. I actually purposely, just because I know he's going to call in, I purposely pull up any and all information I can on the Texans. As far as any free agent moves they've done, what they're talking about, and I do more research on the Texans than I do any other team, obviously other than the Raiders. Just because I know he's going to call in, so if he asks me something, at least I can banter back and forth with him about it. I'm not just sitting here like, oh, I don't know, know.
Man, that's what makes it fun, right? Like as a host, we all do this. Honestly, we try to put on the best show we can for everybody that's listening. I'll be like everybody that's out there right now on YouTube and everywhere that you guys are listening to us. Thank you guys so much. I'll be like, really, Jeff puts in a lot of time. Guys, I want to be specific, and I'm not going to take a lot of time. But
no,
Jeff,
go for it, man. Say what you want. The
really
yours,
hard
man.
on this, man. Jeff is literally, guys, putting the shows together as we're at work. We're just personalities. We know that's why we call it 401 Raider Jeff Productions, because Jeff is in there, man, putting in work. He's getting information. He's putting in flyers. He's getting us pictures. He's getting images. He's thinking of all these things in order to provide a great show for you guys. So, guys, Jeff, hats off to you, man. I mean, like, I just wanted to,
thank you, brother.
to know that you really do, man. I mean, like on a weekly basis, guys, this guy is putting in a ton load of work to put in great products for you guys, and he's always trying something new. I mean, like when he came out with the NFL show, he was just like, Will, I'm going to start this show on Fridays talking about all 32 NFL teams and just have everybody come on and call in. And next thing I know, you have a college show. You had like all sorts of stuff. So hats off to you, Jeff, and continue to do what you do, brother.
I appreciate it. No, thank you. You know what? I will say a lot of this that I've done lately, as far as the shift I've done on like my Friday show, this show on Saturday nights, it's from that talk that you and I had a few months ago. And I think it was with Leo too, when we were talking about, our brand. You have your brand. I have the 401 Raider Jeff brand now. It's all about protecting that brand and building it for the future. And I really took that to heart when you guys were talking about that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, they got a legit point on this. And that's what kind of, made me kick the tires and like, you know what? I got to do some changes here. And that's why I made the change on, back getting out of the original Friday night show. Like a perfect example, Angelo was in the channel last night in the chat, and he's like, oh, send me the link. And I had to tell him in Instagram, I'm like, that's not the Friday night show anymore. I don't do it that way. I said, it's strictly me on the screen on Friday nights, no one else. Last week was an anomaly or 2 weeks ago when Max got traded. Yeah, everybody and their brother was jumping on. So, I opened it up to bring guys on screen. But it's not a pull-up show anymore, on Friday nights. It's a call-in show. I open it to all NFL fans. The phone number is always available. You can call and leave a voicemail, or when I'm live on a Friday or Saturday night, call in. I said, so I switched that, and I switched the Saturday night show where it's Jason and I doing it.
Mhm.
And I love doing the show with Jason. I've had a blast doing it with you tonight. You've been an awesome co-host fill-in for him. So this has been a blessing doing this tonight with you. I love doing shows with you. You know that. I have fun.
Thanks, man. Hey, I might not be as informative, but I am better looking. Jason, I hope you get. Can we say clip that? Train wreck.
Oh God. I gotta play this one. This is where you have a complete lack
What
of.
we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach.
Call me daddy.
PTS allowed is also a critical factor to winning games. The red zone's defense is crazy, improved talent-wise this shit. Oh yeah, that's why I just can't wait for. I don't want to wish the summer away, man, but I can't wait for the season to start.
So, and here's the thing, though, Jeff. I don't want to get caught up in this thing that we got so talented in the offseason, right? We signed all these off because we
Go for
always
it,
do
Dixon.
this every year. Oh man, we're gonna be so good. We got these guys in the offseason, big high nine, and they come here and they shit the bed. I want to be like, hey man, we got some good players. Let's see what happens. Because I don't want to get overly excited. Jeff, we've talked about this. We've done this dog and pony show where we go and we sign great teams and oh yeah, man, look at all this talent. I bet it comes to it in season and it's like shit. So at the end of the day, man, I really do feel like we did improve, but I want to stay more reserved this year. I really want to be like, hey man, show me. Just show me.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what though, if they show me, Jeff, I'm gonna be going crazy. I'm gonna be going crazy.
Oh, I know.
All year long, bro. If we start going crazy, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, where the fuck did this come from? My God. Woo! I can't wait to start cooking this season, man. It's gonna be a great year. If we start cooking this season, Jeff.
Yeah.
How different is gonna be, bro? It's been 3 years of podcasting, Jeff. That every single year. Oh, I can't wait, man. We're gonna do great in the draft. We're gonna get a new coach. We're gonna do this.
This will be 2020. This will be my third season.
Yep. Third year as well.
I came in before the start of 2024. I started. It'll be 2 years for me in August that I started this channel. So,
and I think
this will be my third.
Dude, I did my strictly audio podcast because I was doing strictly audio for a while. 3 years ago. And I feel like a broken record, Jeff. Every offseason. Oh, yeah, we're going to have some hope. There's some hope coming. We got a new coach coming. We got traffic coming. Yeah.
Opium.
Man, I just want to see the proof. For 1 year, I want to go out there and be like, hey, man, we're going to have an all right season. We're going to suck. We might suck a little bit, but we're going to be all right. Then go out there with a 10-win season so I can talk my shit. So I can come out the bar and be like, yes, my team just whooped that ass.
So I had a poll on my channel, right? I forgot to mention this earlier. Received a total of 41 votes. Question was, how do you feel about the Raiders right now? The options were playoff team, major issues, fringe / not there yet, or don't care, Raider Nation for life. So the highest 59% went fringe / not there yet. 20% said playoff team. 11% said major issues, and 10% said don't care, Raider Nation for life.
Oh man.
Poll results. I agree. We are at the fringe with the free agent moves we made and keeping Max. Yeah. What did he say? Signing a star player in offseason doesn't mean you're a contender. I've been drinking offseason hype for the last 30 years. Then here we are. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I get it. That's why I don't have extreme high expectations on this season. I'm looking at it as whatever happens, happens. If it's a kill year, great, awesome. I'm happy as can be. If it's yeah, where we get a few wins, maybe better than what we did last year. Okay, it's improvement. How did we look on the field with only being able to have 14 contact practices during the season? I know you're still shocked by that.
Jeff, how are you supposed to
I
get
put
any
some
better during
factual
the
knowledge on you that rocked your brain.
Bro, like literally, I'm like 14 padded practice. How am I supposed to make any player better at tackling without tackling?
You can't. It's physically impossible. They either got it or they don't. That's what it comes down to. They either have that talent to be able to do it without doing it until it's game time.
My gosh, man. No wonder it looks like a bunch of 7-on-7 out there in flag football. Guys are not able to develop their craft, especially on defense. We're hamstringed.
Nope.
Jeff, I'd be like, how does this affect blocking? Does this affect blocking? I'd be like, can you only go 50% on the line? I'd be like, those are questions for me as well. If they're lining up the defense versus offense, and they're not, because they're only wearing pads 1 day a week, okay, and they're only doing full contact maximum of 1 day a week. So, which means they're doing it in shoulder pads and helmets, but in shorts. So, they're not in full pads, or they're out there with just helmets on. So, of course, they're not hitting. They can't do anything. So, Jeff,
so that one practice a week where they're actually physically hitting, how hard are they actually going off on each other on the line? I'd like to think they're going full tilt because the impact's not as high on the front line guys, because you're not having 5 yards start up for a run at each other. You're basically lined up about this far apart from one another. And then it's basically bang. That's it. That's as high impact as it gets. The rest of it's all leg work and center of gravity. It's that initial smack up front, but you're at such a slow speed that contact isn't as nasty. That's why offensive linemen tend to last long in this league, because they don't have that brutal, impact like you would as a running back, where you're running full speed down the field, and all of a sudden you get wally lop from the side, and it's over. They're definitely limiting the CTE. That's part of this reason, for them being so babyish with the practices, which absolutely blows. It really does.
Jeff, when we're talking about like limited practices and linemen and everything like this, okay, how do we expect a lineman to practice blocking, to get better at blocking, when they can't go 100% against another guy going 100% against them? These are things that I have questions, because as a lineman, I never played lineman.
Mm-hmm.
I've coached it. I've seen it done. I've never played it. So I can kind of understand it. But my question is more for you, okay? When you're working with all those big war daddies up front, right? All those big sexies. That's what we call them. Like, I call them big sexies. All those big sexies up front, all those big old war daddies, you guys have to work in unison to move other people, to do all sorts of things. When you're not in pads, when you're only practicing in shells and doing walkthroughs, how effective is your blocking going to be for the game?
Not as good, because if I can't practice on physically moving a body, then what are you doing? Tackling dummies don't do shit. You get no pushback from it. It's just a weighted bag that you move around. If I can't physically go up against somebody that's the same size and maybe even bigger and stronger than me on the defense, if I can't get in that type of work, how am I supposed to get better when I go up against the team that's even bigger than me? And you know what I mean? It gets in your psyche, even though I'm not one to be intimidated no matter how big somebody is. I don't give a shit. But you look at like the average offensive lineman. How are you supposed to get better if you can't, practice on how to physically move somebody to do, to fulfill the block assignment that you're given, to make that opening for that running back. If I can't physically go up against somebody and practice my craft on that hand, because it's hand-to-hand combat is what it is in that front line. It's hand-to-hand combat.
Yes.
It's how you move their hands off of you because they can move you and control your shoulders. And if you can't swat their hands out of the way, same thing on the defensive side. As soon as an offensive lineman gets their hands up on your pads, you're going to be swatting their hands away, swimming, doing whatever you can. If I can't practice that, no tackling dummy's going to do that. No blocking sled's going to do that.
Yes.
And I don't even know how much they still use the blocking sleds in the NFL. You never see any of that. I don't see any of that, no video footage of them using the blocking sleds, So it seems like it's more like the hand shields, the padded dummies, Have you ever seen video footage lately of any NFL teams out there actually moving like the offensive? I'm talking like the 7-man sleds or the 5-man sleds.
I haven't seen anything like that. All I see is the 150-pound assistant holding a freaking meat shield out there and then getting like fucking thrusted like a little rag doll.
What's up, Sacktown Mike? What's going on, brother? Sacktown Mike's in the chat. What's up?
Sir, let's go, Sacktown.
So it's like I like you watch what the hell is it? Hard Knocks. I can't remember the last time I saw on Hard Knocks because they show you everything pretty much. I can't remember the last time I've seen on Hard Knocks where you've seen them using the blocking sleds. Not even the single ones. Not even the single ones.
There's so many things that are missing from the NFL's game that guys aren't practicing. But that's why I keep saying, man, I'm like, look at the quality of the games. Look at the players. Players aren't improving unless they go practice by themselves. Practice by yourself. A team game, Jeff. I'm going to go practice with my individual trainer.
So here's what I did. I just typed in and did a search. I asked a simple question. Do NFL teams still use blocking sleds? And it said short answer, yes, but not like the old days. And it breaks it down. So teams still use blocking sleds, hand shields, and padded dummies, but the usage is way more limited and controlled. What they used for now is hand placement, leverage, first step explosion on the offensive line, defensive line for striking, timing, and shedding blocks. They're not used as like punishment drills, like physically moving the object, which is wrong. It should still be used, Like back in the day, it was the full, coaches standing on the thing screaming at you, long, brutal sled sessions. I remember doing that in high school, pushing that sled all over the goddamn field until we were all even. Because what would happen? You'd have one guy that wasn't pushing enough, and the sled just does a circle.
Yeah. I remember.
The coach wants to see it go straight down. He wants you to go from point A to point B and push the sled in a straight form motion, which means you're all firing off at the same speed and you're all pushing with the same level of strength and determination to move that sled in the direction. Now they're using it to just put the hands up and give that initial shock where the thing moves. That's all they use it for now.
Bro, that's so. Let me ask you this, Jeff. This is where Kubiak has come in and said, I want to teach my guys to finish. I want to teach my guys to accomplish the mission, right? The sled, what you just said, when you finish, when you're pushing it as a team, as a unit, in the same direction, that is accomplishing the mission.
Oh, God, yeah.
You working as a unit. When people go like, oh, it was a discipline. Yeah, it was used as a disciplinary issue thing. But at the same time, coaches use technique. They want you to use, because they tell you, use the right technique to move this thing. Work as a team together to execute this and get this down the field together. Coaches have forgotten about teaching guys how to finish. They want to go in there and just show them how to start it. It's not how you start; it's how you finish.
Exactly. You know, but hey, with all the limited practices, I mean,
But and that's the thing. Like,
I love bringing that up now to you,
hard work, bro. Like, where's the hard work? Where's the thing that we can say, I get it, man. These guys do work hard. They do have other trainers and everything like this. But Jeff, this is almost like when Allen Iverson came out and was like, we talk about practice, man.
Yeah.
Practice. Like we shouldn't even care about practice in the NFL. Because the quality of the practices have gone down because the Players Association, I get it, CTE and all this other thing. But guys, are we really going to continue to see this product of this game go down and be happy? As fans. Jeff, are you ready for this to become flag football? Are you ready for this to become 7-on-7?
If it becomes something like that, a lot of fans will lose interest. I know a lot of your old school fans will lose interest for sure because it's not the NFL they grew up on. It's not the NFL they remember. You know, I remember, football being exactly what it is. It's a violent smash mouth type sport, which is why I love it when people compare past players and teams to current and they're like, oh, he could play. A lot of those guys can't play. They couldn't play in this era. Because number one, they'd be thrown out of the games way faster than you could ever imagine. Okay. Because they couldn't handle the pussification of what's happened with the NFL and the soft ass product that gets put out there. These old schools play it. Like, do you think Jack Ham would last in this league right now? Everybody knows how nasty he was. How about Chuck Cecil? Okay. How would he last in this? How would Conrad Dobler last in this? How about Bubba Smith? How about AC Green?
Phil Filippiano.
Yeah. How about anybody from the Raiders during the 70s with their nasty mentality and having a cast on their hand, but then covered in pad, before when the refs would do the check and they'd see it's just padding, and then they take the pad off and it's just basically a hard cast with a metal shiv in it, or a metal shank. That shit wouldn't go now. These guys couldn't play now. And it's not that they don't have the talent. It's just that they can't hit like they're known to hit. That's the problem. You hit somebody too hard, you get thrown out of the game. Or you gave the guy a concussion. It's
a shame.
It's so bad.
Here we go.
Oh, we got a phone call. You're on Raider Nation Voices. State your name.
Sacktown here.
What's up, Sacktown Mike?
Dude.
Sacktown Mike's in the house. Hold on. What's up, Mike?
Oh, no, man. I was just watching your show, as usual. Been in kind of a funk lately. Trying to break out of it. And but anyway, I've been watching your show especially the last 5 minutes or so. You guys talking old school. I'm like going, oh man, I'm old school. So I'm like,
Mike's old school.
I'm 60. I just turned 63 not too long ago. So yeah, but football ain't the way it used to be. It will never be again. We have to admit that. But the way it's going, and it's getting more and more pussified every year. It's Sony needs to get Goodell out of the league for I don't know what they're going to do because the NFLPA too is like they regulate like your guys are talking about 14 padded practices,
right? In an 18-week season, and that counts towards if you're going to be a playoff team. That counts towards your playoff week practices too.
Right.
So you have to possibly stretch 14 padded contact practices from week 1, and if you make it to the Super Bowl, all the way up to the week leading to the Super Bowl. That's what 20-something weeks. You gotta figure out of those 20-something weeks the 14 days that you're going to use full pads and contact in one practice a week.
Yeah, it's kind of like NASCAR, like Well, tell me when the caution flags are coming out, and I'll tell you when we're going to pit.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot predict it. I
No.
mean, you just can't, and it's ludicrous. I mean, and how can you build up calluses? Because in football, you need to build up the. It's not like any other sport. I mean,
No.
you need to be used to getting hit and delivering hits, and you can't do that anymore. And or very rarely can you do that. And even when you can do it in practice, it's so guarded now because they don't want nobody getting hurt.
Nope.
Yeah, I think they need to bump up the roster for one. I think they need to move up from the 53-man roster. I say a 60-man roster. Give you 7 extra guys. Because I mean it sucks when we get to the playoffs and these guys are playing people that have never played before on this team because they just picked them up from another team to win this playoff game. They need to bump up the roster, man.
You know what? You're the first person I've heard say that. And you know what? I agree. I definitely agree. I don't see why we can't go up to it. And I think 60 is a good number. Go add 7 more players, So those guys that you have on the practice squad, bring 7 of them up to the active roster, and then you add the others, add the 7 more to the practice squad. So you're back at full speed. I don't see a problem with that, to be honest with you. Why does it have to be?
Yeah, it's not like they can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. And usually whoever's those lower additions anyway, they're going to be above that 50-man spot. So their salary cap's not even going to count towards anything anyway. They're hit because they're above the 51 rule.
Well, the other thing, they got 53 guys, but they can only shoot up 48 guys. So you're even cutting down even more. I don't understand why you have a 53-man roster, but you can only shoot up 48. I don't understand that. That just boggles my mind. I don't get it.
The NFL doesn't make any sense, and Coach said it too. It's definitely not Goodell. It's a combination of the rules committee, which consists of select owners. It's also the Players Association with the collective bargaining agreement restricting how much practice these players can do, and it's all for preventative maintenance and injuries for the future of these players. And again, I get
more injuries.
Yeah, I get the protecting of players and everything, but it's like the question I asked Will when we first started talking about the padded practices and everything. I said, "How you tell me now how a rookie head coach is supposed to come in and get a team ready with a bunch of new free agents, re-signings, players he's never met, doesn't know their preferences, doesn't know their abilities firsthand yet. Then all these rookies coming in. How is a rookie head coach supposed to, take a team with all this influx of new players and put a product out on the field that's going to succeed? How do you do this when you're so hamstrung with how many things, how many times you can do certain things? Padded practices, you can only have 1 a week. That's the guarantee. You can't go have any more than that. So during training camp, you can have 14 from the start of training camp until the preseason's over. And then when the regular season starts, you can have 14 during the regular season, straight up to the Super Bowl. So you got to figure that out too. So like the Seahawks, are they the odds-on favorite next year? Yeah, they're still the champs. They're good until someone beats them and knocks them out before they make the playoffs. So now they have to go into it thinking, all right, well, we've got 18-game season. If we make the playoffs, we need to make sure we save a practice or 2 with pads for the playoff possible run. So that's something else you're thinking about too. It's not like shit carries.
Well, how can you evaluate a defensive player?
I keep one for next year. No, it doesn't work that way. Use it or lose it.
Yeah, how can you evaluate a defensive player if he can't do what he's supposed to be doing on the field? How can you evaluate it? For a new coach, like you're saying, with the new coach. how can you evaluate them if they're not allowed to do what you brought them in to do?
Well, that's where the only way you can truly evaluate them, especially if they're rookies, coming in from the draft. That's where your scouting comes in. How the film that you have from them when they played in their college games to figure out, how they are, how they play, how they act. Until you physically see it firsthand, that's the only way you're going to be able to tell. Game time stuff. Real quick, Dixon asked. He says, "I hope the hip is feeling better, Mike."
Yes.
Oh no, my hip is doing really good. Thank you, Dixon, for
That's
asking.
good.
It's doing really, really, really good.
What's up, Lennon Marley?
So much better than it was before my surgery. I can't even explain it. It's good, great,
good. That's good to hear. Will's giving you a round of applause.
Oh, thank you, Will. From what I hear, I had a very good surgeon. So
that's good.
Jeff,
I've got two very good
for me.
surgeons apparently.
Hang on, Mike. Mike, Will's got a question for you. I'm going to have to relay it. Go ahead, Will.
Okay.
Again, we talked about the limited amount of practices. How is a coach supposed to mold a team into his image with 14 padded practices during the season and the playoffs?
I think you kind of already asked that, though. Will said, how is a coach supposed to mold a team in his image with only 14 limited contact practices with pads?
Yeah, like I said before, he can't, especially more so with the defense, in my opinion. It's more with the defense that he can't. I mean, he can evaluate running backs. He can evaluate wide receivers and quarterbacks and stuff like that. But I don't think you get. I mean, there's no way you can evaluate offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, anything, because they're not doing what the defense is going to be doing, and I think it's total BS.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, maybe 2 days was a little too much. Okay, maybe, because you and me both, Jeff. We come from days when it was 2 a days.
Yeah.
And,
I hated them. I fucking hated them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they made you a better player, though, in all honesty. They tell you to not
and it
quit.
built up the calluses.
It's going to know if you're tough. That's for sure.
That's where I got that
It
from.
built up calluses.
Yeah, that's where I got my whole mentality of I don't quit. I don't give up. I mean, that if I'm in pain, I'm still going to keep pushing the best I can. If I'm not feeling right, it don't matter. I'm still going to do what I'm doing. So that's where I got that from. It was from doing that, and that's where that relayed over to or carried over to me with the fire service. No matter how exhausted I am or how spent I am, there's someone that's still relying on me to do what I got to do my job. Whether I'm hurting, I'm down and out or not, I still got to keep pushing. And that's just
You're
always
still
been
going to
my
run
mentality.
into that burning building and pull somebody out of there.
Yeah.
If need be.
I don't quit. I have no quit. I never did.
Well, you can as a fireman or a policeman or other certain things. Yeah.
Well, at least with a cop, you could stop running and just stop shooting, but that's different.
Huh?
I said, at least as a cop, you're not. If you're chasing someone, you can stop running and then just turn to shooting, and that's fine.
We just had a few years ago a fireman shot in Sacramento.
Yeah. Well, that happened a lot in the riots too. There was a case in New York, upstate New York,
ridiculous.
Christmas Eve. A guy lit his car on fire in his driveway, barricaded himself in his house, sat up in the second floor window with a sniper rifle. And as the firefighters showed up to put the car out, he shot 2 of them immediately. One was killed.
God!
One was killed instantly. This is like maybe 5-6 years ago, maybe even longer. One was killed instantly. The other one was hit, was bleeding out, but was able to crawl to the back of the truck, had his portable with him, and you could hear him talking the whole time. He was so pinned down, he couldn't go anywhere. He pretty much almost bled out, or he did bleed out. The guy ended up dying in the house because the house caught on fire too. So it was fucking ridiculous. And this was a volunteered apartment on Christmas Eve day. Yep.
God, that's insane.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to shoot an unarmed man that's his only job is to save other people.
Right?
That's his only job. That's his job.
So, Mike, why I got you on the phone? There's a chat question in the chat from Lennon Marley. He says, Raiders over 5.5 wins this season.
I'm going to keep it moderate this year because last year I went crazy, and I think I'm going 5 to 7 wins this year.
I think
and
the
I'll
over
be
and under is
ecstatic.
like 5.5 right now, right? Well, I think was what
Yeah.
I've seen recently or heard recent. It's 5.5.
It's 5.5.
I'm not a betting man, but I would
No, I'm not
probably take, if I was, I would take that bet with what we've done this year with our coaching staff and the free agency.
I remember we all
I
thought
would-
that last year too.
I know.
Everybody took
That's
the
what
over.
my
I should have taken the under.
PTSD comes in.
Jeff's like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, we did that last year. I'm like,
I had us at 10 wins last year. How that worked out.
He's got another question. Crosby over 10.5 sacks. Over or under?
Over.
You say over? Well,
Yeah, because we also picked up another defensive end too.
hey,
So,
Quiddy Bay.
I might have to stand up for this one. Hold
Mhm.
on. Are you kidding me, baby?
Yes, Mike.
With the motivated Max Crosby after getting treated like trash by
Yeah,
the
Quiddy Bay.
Ravens? Like
I would say over.
news? We are talking
I would
about
take
way
the over
more
on
than
that.
10.5.
If I was betting,
man.
I'd take the over on both of those. What about you guys?
You just missed the tirade.
I can't hear
from
Will, so
yeah, I know. You just missed the tirade from him on it. Well, he called it out on one of his shows last week, or in the chat. No, it was in the chat on the Most Notorious, and then Leo and I called them out on it during the show too. It's like when somebody asks, "How many sacks you think Max is going to get?" and we both looked at Will, and because he thinks that there's no reason why Max can't get 20. I'm like 20. I'm like, okay, you think he can
no,
get
I'm not
20?
going there.
God bless
I'm
you.
not going there.
You
I'm
tell
thinking like
you
12.
Mike,
In that
we are
range.
gonna go for the great.
I know he's pissed off, so I mean that's gonna add to it.
So Frank Weber said to you, Mike, he says, glad that you're doing better, Unc. He goes, the way things are going, we might need you to make a couple more jumps for the U.S.
I would do it, man. Hey, man, I actually think I can make a jump right now.
Oh, man.
With my new hip.
Damn.
Oh,
would like
new
that.
hip? Yeah,
He's
you might
feeling
spring right up. Bing! Hey, I'm ready to go.
I got my bionic hip, man. I'm
Yeah,
good to
what's
go.
up, Ernest? Ernest is in the chat. Bill M says absolutely over 5.5.
Oh, man.
Ernest says over on wins, under on sacks. I'm gonna say over on sacks because motherfucker better have more than 10.5 sacks. I don't expect 20, but he better have more than 10.5. He better be so motivated that they can't even keep him under wraps. But I mean, he's only got 14 practices where he can go full pads.
Yeah, I'm guessing in the 12 range. That's what I'm guessing.
So Mike says 12. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair number. I could go with that. That would be his second time at the second highest total because the highest he's had is 14. Second highest he's had is 12.
So
he'd match that.
I'm going to ask you this, Jeff. How about if he beats his max total? How about if he gets?
I don't
16
know.
sacks?
I'm just so excited. I mean,
I
the
know.
moves the Raiders are making right now with the coaching staff, I was like,
Well, they're smart moves.
so exactly.
Yep.
Like, and we have a chain of command now. You know that. You were in the fire. You were a firefighter. You know about chain of command.
Spytek's definitely in charge of this time. He wasn't last year.
Yeah.
Will
Exactly.
Will had a question for you, Mike. What were you saying, Will?
Oh, I didn't have a question for him. No,
Oh,
I'm just
you were
agreeing.
saying something about 16. You said something 16.
Oh, if he has 16 sacks this season,
Me?
what type of party are we throwing?
He said if Max has 16 sacks this season, what kind of party are we throwing?
Damn.
He's hoping Max gets 16. I mean, a week ago he was hoping he was thinking he could hit
I'm at
20.
20. I'm at 18 to 20.
No, Will's still at 18 to 20 for Max. You're fucking crazy. Dude, that's putting him in Strahan territory.
The reason I'm just telling bro, the reason I just feel like that, I don't know why. I'm telling you now, I think like Leonard is
I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with Fernando, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's starting to look more and more like he's going to be our starter.
Yeah,
You know, which I don't think is right.
I
But
don't either.
anyway,
So
me and
that's why I
you
told
are
him
on
to
the
bring
same
in.
train on that one. You know, me and you would still rather trade back.
I still want to
I
trade
know
back.
that. I don't know how Will feels. I think he's on the same train. But
Well, are
I'm
you
not
on the
sure.
trade back or are you on the take Mendoza?
So now that the Max Crosby,
I know at one point Leo and I had you kind of swayed a little bit.
yeah. So now that it depends. What are we getting? You have to really entice me, right?
Mhm.
I don't really see the Jets
Yeah.
making that type of move anymore. So it would really have to be something where we're getting the bag. If we get 5 picks, maybe a first rounder this year, next year, and the year after that,
Yeah.
I'm in the trade back.
So
trade.
Will's kind of still on the trade a little bit, but it depends on. He doesn't think the Jets are going to offer,
No.
but he's hoping if we do get offered, it's
Yeah.
something that gives us around 4 to 5 picks. I think, in all honesty, it's going to either be with, if it's not the Jets, Arizona is a possibility. They have a plethora of picks also. The Browns.
Are you
Another
kidding me? They're
one.
going with the
Browns
mustache,
is
bro.
kind of what I was thinking too.
The Cardinals
don't
are going to ride with men.
Dude, they got what's his name down there too in Arizona. Shit. Was it not Bridgewater? Was it Bridgewater? Brissett. Jacoby Brissett.
Is
So
Bridgewater
Jacoby
in
Brissett's
Arizona?
supposed to be.
Yeah, they got Jacoby Brissett in Arizona, and then they got
mustache.
yeah,
Uncle
they got
Rico.
they got the 70s porn star mustache guy.
They got Uncle Rico, bro. They're ready.
What's up, linebacker? He goes, trade back regardless if Jets offer or not, unless the front office knows for a fact that Mendoza is a franchise QB. Yep.
But here's the thing, right, Jeff? So, Jeff, now we're talking like trade back, right? Again, what are you looking for to trade back? Or how far and what are you looking to get, right? That's the kind of thing. If we move back to
what am I looking to get? I'm looking to not take Mendoza with the first pick. That's all I care about.
But I'd be like, you gotta get something.
No,
I'd say if we had the number 7th or 8th overall, we can get Mendoza. Sure, I'd take him.
Well, that's just it. If we were taking him later in the draft, I wouldn't care.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But when you're taking him number 1 overall, this motherfucker better be playing like this, like up at this level. Because I'm sorry, if he's not up here in this level within a year or two, then that pick was a complete waste of time. And that's what I love when people go, well, if we don't get it right, we'll just try again. Well, that's a bad way of looking at this. Because if that number 1 pick doesn't work out, that could be your ass. That could be the coach's ass, the GM's ass.
100%.
I'd rather trade it out and take it. So say we move back to 2 or 3. Then at that point, whoever moves up to number 1 is probably going to take Mendoza. And if that's the case, let them have him. You can have him. And then say we have the 2nd or 3rd pick. All right. At that point, I'm taking the best player available by talent. Not so much by need or necessity. I'm taking the best, whatever's there that's the best talent. And if it's Reese, it's Reese. If it's somebody else, it's somebody else. If it's Sonny Styles, it's Sonny Styles. It's whatever this coaching staff feels is going to give us. It's going to be a defensive player. It's not going to be an offensive player. I can tell you that right now. We'll be a defensive player. You know? Right. And if that means if we trade it with the Jets, that means we get 2 first rounders this year. So we get that one and we get, what's the other number? 16. So with number 16, now you grab, at that point, I would say grab the best nose tackle that's available. If you don't want to, you still want to go quarterback, you could take Ty Simpson in the 2nd round. I'm fine with taking him. I don't have a problem drafting a quarterback in the end of the first round or very early in the second round, because you know what? The pressure's not as high on him because he's not that number one overall pick. He can come in and have a little bit more relaxed atmosphere around him because everything's not resting on this kid is the number one overall. So Mendoza's already going to have that pressure on him as the number one pick overall, regardless if he comes in. If he comes in here as the number one, everybody. But see, the problem is Raider Nation. There's so many people that want him that they don't care if he sucks or not right away.
Oh no, no,
I'm
they
sorry.
care.
I like value. When I have the number one pick, I want true value for that, and I just don't see it in the quarterback at number one. That's only picked or slated to be the number one because we're picking number one. If it was somebody else picking number one, it wouldn't be Mendoza unless it was the Jets. Anybody else, it would not be the number one pick overall, would not be him. It would be one of these other defensive guys. It would either be Reese, or Sonny Styles, or Caleb Downs, or whatever. It won't be Mendoza. You know, that's what I'm getting at. I want a plug and play player. That's what I want. I want a guy that we sign that draft card right away. We're already at Intermountain Sports Center getting his sizes for his uniforms because we know he's starting week one because he's going to be that much of an impact on this talent, especially on the defense. If it's on the defensive side, oh hell yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you like this, Jeff. A lot of Raider Nation does want Fernando
Yeah,
Mendoza.
I'm
Doesn't have
100%
the patience to
agreement.
see him develop.
I'm going to catch
you guys
so
are
much
talking
shit.
over each other, but that's not your fault, Mike. You can't even.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know Will was
No,
talking.
you're good.
I apologize.
I stopped. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike. He stopped.
Oh, I'm sorry, Will. I can't hear you. So
no worries.
But yeah, I mean, you cannot tell me that. Say we had the number 4, number 5 pick. Okay, let's just say that, and say we had 2 1s and to trade this year. Would you do that to get Fernando this year? Would you do that? I mean, let's think about it, man. He's just basically he's the only quarterback coming out this year. That's besides Ty Simpson. He's the only quarterback coming out this year, and we could pick up Ty Simpson, later on if we trade back. And I'm gonna catch so much shit. Jeff, you are too. Will, you will be too. Everybody's gonna catch so much shit when we get Mendoza, because we all know it's coming, and he does good. Okay, great. And I will support Mendoza. I mean, if the Raiders select him number 1 overall, it's not like I'm going to be pissed off.
No, I mean, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to support him.
It's just not my choice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Same with you.
I'm not going to be
all
like,
of us, the people that are pro-trade.
Yeah, I'm not going to be pissed off.
Everybody. Yeah. Everybody, ECG, 805. There's all these people that talk, that, and we all get lambasted. You know that. I know that. You're in a way bigger scale than I am, and we're gonna catch hell. But and I don't want him to come in and fail. But damn, number 1 overall pick. Those don't come on. When was the last time we had one? 2017. Or 2012, I mean, when we got JM.
The first pick was.
I can't say his name.
The last time we had the number 1 pick was the Jamarcus season.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, it was
2006 or 2007.
I mean, they don't come around very often. You better use it to get the most assets. And I think Spytech is the guy that.
Yeah.
If anybody will pull that trigger, I think Spytech will. So we'll see.
I'm about ready.
If nobody offers us a comparable trade, then take him.
So,
if somebody wants to offer us a 1 and a 2 and a 3, F them. We're taking Mendoza. They got to come more to the plate with than
you guys got me all fired up now, bro.
First round draft
fired up on this Mendoza. Hey, so Mike, so Mike, as kid, I hope he's listening on the other.
Because we all know we got a lot of holes to fill still, even after this free agency, which has been insanely good.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Hey, Mike, did you try calling earlier?
No.
Because the same number you're calling me from is this. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Never mind. No,
you picked up on like the first ring or so.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. Never mind. I'm looking at the wrong number.
If somebody else is calling in, I'll back out. No,
nobody's calling. Nobody's calling. We're just pretty much getting ready to shut it down. We're at 2.5 hours.
So check this out, though, Jeff. I really like to speak on this Mendoza situation.
I'm dying for a cigarette.
You guys have hit this fucking nail on the head. If it wasn't for the Raiders or the Jets being at the very beginning of this draft, Fernando Mendoza would not be considered as the first overall consensus player.
No.
This is the biggest and most difficult thing for Raider Nation to come and realize right now, is that we are now taking a risk drafting this quarterback because this is now a position of need. We're not going through BPA, right? We are trying to address now a position of need. Fernando Mendoza is not the best player.
No,
overall.
he's not. Mendoza was not the BPA in this first round. Absolutely not.
Period. Right?
But he's the number one pick consensus because we're picking number one.
And we need a quarterback.
He's the best BQA.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. So at the end of the day, okay, when we look at that, that is the biggest problem because he doesn't have the credentials. People are going to say, oh, yes, he won at Indiana. He did this on a loaded roster with a bunch of 24-year-old men that the coach did a great job of recruiting players that were underused in their programs, that were seniors, that are basically grown-ass men, NFL players playing at the college level. Fernando Mendoza could be a good player. But people need to realize that if we do draft Fernando Mendoza, guys, he's not a finished product. He's exactly what Jeff said. He's going to come in and be an absolute mediocre first-round draft pick. He's not even going to be will he be efficient? Will he be able to grow into that first pick? We don't know, right? Those are the things that are going to be in the future. But Raider Nation, the people that are hollering, that are saying, oh, Fernando will be the first ones, Jeff, if Fernando Mendoza doesn't have a successful season, to say that he's a bust, to say that he wasn't worth the pick, that he wasn't worth it, blah, 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 we made a mistake. They will be the first ones to say it. So at the end of the day, if you draft Fernando Mendoza, if you are on the Fernando Mendoza train, you need to realize that this young man is not going to have success, that the way to set up this man for success is to have a veteran quarterback come in, teach him how to play quarterback, teach him how to do the ropes, and do everything like that. But I just had to say that, man, because I'm telling you, bro, this Fernando Mendoza hype train is out of fucking control. People are literally thinking that we're going to go to the playoffs because we're drafting Fernando Mendoza.
Man.
Yep. I mean, in all honesty, if the consensus number one overall best player available is not the fucking quarterback in this draft, I'm sorry. When you look at pure, just he's not BPA. If you look at it for that purpose. So we're drafting out of necessity, not taking the best pure specimen athlete that we could take at number one. We're taking a guy that we just need to draft because we need one so bad. That's what it comes down to. So you're really not, in all honesty, you're really not getting the true value of that number one overall pick is what it comes down to. Plain and simple. That's it. That's it. He's not the best player in this draft. And nobody can sit here and tell me, oh, he definitely is. No, he's not. He's not the best player in this draft. I could probably name 3 or 4 other guys that are way better than him.
And Jeff, why are people so stuck on that? Just because he won the national championship, right?
And downs.
That all of a
And a
sudden
Heisman.
he's the
Yeah.
best player. All of it. Oh, he won the national championship.
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
keep
Oh.
throwing up the Heisman. You know,
Yeah, he won the
that's not
Heisman.
a popularity quarterback.
What's up, 805?
Exactly.
Mike, I'm gonna have to let you go, brother.
All right, man.
But I appreciate you being on. I let you stay on the longest because you're who you are, and I love you. So you've been on 30 minutes already.
All right. I'm gonna just join the chat.
All right, brother. You have a good night. Thanks for coming in and calling. I appreciate you, man.
You too.
Much
Will, love you too, brother.
I love you too,
guys
brother.
both.
Love you, man. Hey, Sacktown Mike in the building, baby.
I love that guy. 805, what's up, my guy? What's up? Real Dixon, here we go. Yep. There's 31 other picks better than. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel.
And this is what's so hard, Jeff, because people keep telling us that Fernando Mendoza is gonna. Oh, he's the number one pick. He's not the number one pick overall.
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
Nope.
He
Not my opinion.
And this is why it's so difficult for a lot of us to really swallow the pill to take a guy in that position. And then the amount of pressure he's going to have, Jeff, like you said, to come and perform when he's not even the realistic best player available at that first round draft pick.
He's just default number one.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If you replace us with the Giants, is Mendoza still a number one pick? So the Giants had the first pick, we got the fifth. Is he still the number one pick in this draft?
No.
Because guess what? Giants still need a quarterback. So they're not picking quarterback. So they'll put someone else as the number one consensus overall. Again, Mendoza's there, the number one overall because it's us. But if you go to one of these mock draft boards and you look at the rankings, he's not number one overall. He's also like number 3 or 4.
100%. Jeff, this
That's
is why
market.
If it was the Chiefs, if it was the Broncos, if it's the Chargers, any of the other 3 teams in the AFC West, is Fernando Mendoza the first round draft pick? No.
Mm-mm.
Justin Herbert's better. Bo Nix is better. Patrick Mahomes is better. So I'll be like, again, this is why it's so frustrating when people go, Fernando Mendoza is the number one pick. He should be the number one overall consensus because he won the national championship and he's a Heisman Trophy winner. Whoop de fucking do.
Still Heisman Trophy winner on a national championship winner on a team that knew how to run the goddamn ball, had a hell of a defense,
had a hell of a coach,
had an amazing coach, amazing offensive line. He's not going to have much of that when he comes to us.
You come to the Raiders, you have none of that. You don't even have a number one option on the outside.
805. I must have checked in at the right time. My favorite topic. Yes, you did. James Firpo with the Raiders. Hang on, I got to get you, brother. Let me get you.
Get him.
Raiders.
James Firpo in the house. Let's see. What did he say? Question: outside of a Bama QB, when Saban was there, name a college QB that can play under center. Yeah, don't ask me that. I couldn't even fucking tell you. 805 could probably answer that. I know I can't. I don't know enough, and I don't pretend to know enough, so I don't even attempt to answer shit like that. No fucking clue.
I was sorry to think. Like, I know Penn State runs the ball from underneath center, like USC does it. There's so many teams that go on their off shotgun now, Coach, and this is why I thought that was an unfair evaluation when people were like, "Oh, these quarterbacks don't come from underneath center." It's not because they can't. It's because the systems that these college coaches are running are straight up fucking bullshit, fucking just air raid, almost fucking shotgun every other play, RPO, stuff like that. So.
Frank Weber. Timing is everything, Bob. That's 805's nickname, Bob.
Well, at least he got Bob. I got Mooch from Coach. Fucking Coach. Oh man, where's Coach sipping on this Jamba Juice?
Well, he got called Bob by it was Leo's girl. She called him Bob. She goes, I don't know why. I thought his name was Bob. Not Bob. Mendoza said, remember, being picked at number 1 or 199 doesn't matter to him. What does it mean?
He just wants to get drafted, but honestly, he's lying to himself because being drafted number 1 and number 199 makes a whole lot of a difference.
You said Coach, and Coach chimes in. Present.
Oh, what up, Coach? You see, hey, I had to make sure my man was in the building, man. For Dean, I'm absolutely excited for Dean.
I like, to be honest with you, I like them both, but yeah,
He's such a
ain't better than what we had. Jeez.
You know what I like about him, man, is that he's a plugger, that he's a downhill guy, that he's going to attack the ball and he's going to be physical. Now, my one thing is, again, he's injury prone. You know, I just want him to last, and I want to see that. And if he's able to bring that physicality, 15 games this season, Jeff, we made a hell of a fucking pickup.
Oh, God, yeah. He's only 5'11", but plays like he's 6'5".
100%.
Coach, how nice would it be to trade back and build that O-line, make it impenetrable?
Hey, we dreaming right now.
Trade back, we could definitely do that.
Trade back, draft more oral linemen.
Made me happy. It'll make me happy as long as we get a nose tackle mixed in there somewhere too. I definitely want that nose tackle ASAP. I don't want to wait. I saw somebody talking about it today. Like, oh, we can get one of like the 4th or 5th round. I'm like, what? No. No, like we need to go wide receiver in the 2nd round. No, stop that. No.
I'm with you on that, Jeff, where I want to see either you're bringing in somebody that's quality as a free agent, as that nose tackle, you know, that freaking linchpin on that 3-4 defense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be like, honestly, like I can see us taking one in that 2nd round with that 1st pick. And I think
if the max trade still had gone through and we had that 2nd 1st round pick this season,
14th,
then we could have done a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, which is why I think it's even more imperative that we trade out of that number 1 pick and get more goddamn picks, so we can bolster this roster legitimately. You know, and I'm fine. I am fine with drafting Ty Simpson. I do not have a problem with that. Told you, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid that 805's passing out for taking Ty Simpson. He likes him so much better. And I go by his judgment on a lot of stuff, and he's all on him.
I think I could see why people like Ty Simpson, because he does come out of a pro offense in college. But my thing is this.
I like it. Because we're playing the what-if game. What if we had Bob Brown, Art Shell, Gene Upshur, and Moosbar and Otto?
Like, I'll ask you this. If we take Ty Simpson, okay, because of the fact that you were able to draft Fernando Mendoza in the 1st, okay, right, he would have such a difficult time, I think, with Raider Nation unless he came in here and had success straight from the get, that he wouldn't be able to develop here. I do think Ty Simpson needs to develop. I don't think he's an immediate starter. So that's my only concern with drafting Ty Simpson, Jeff, is that do you think Raider Nation would allow Ty Simpson to sit on the bench and develop?
I don't give a shit what Raider Nation thinks about that. It's not Raider Nation's decision. It's the coach's decision.
I agree with you, but you know how the pressure.
Right away, there's less pressure on him not to have to come in and start right away. Why does he have to come in and start right away? Everybody will want Mendoza to start right away. As soon as whoever we have starting ahead of him falters the slightest little bit, they're going to be, stop Mendoza. Stop Mendoza, even though he might not be QB quality ready for the NFL at that moment. Stop Mendoza. You know, now if Ty Simpson's on this roster and say it's AOC 12 that's starting and he starts to falter, people may say, all right, well, let's try Ty. They may not be like so adamant about getting him out there because you know why? Because he's not the number 1 overall pick. He's not named Mendoza. People want to see Mendoza because people want to see us win and make it to the Super Bowl this year. People are already pushing that we're going to make it to the playoffs. And those are the people that are just out of their goddamn mind if they think that, honestly, we're going to make the playoffs. If we do, great. That's beautiful. But don't sit there and put that stigma on this team already that we're going to be a playoff team. No, because you're setting the bar too high and you're going to be let down just like we are every goddamn year. Don't do that to yourselves. Stay reasonable. Stay humble. Like, just expect a better organization, a better run organization, a better product on the field, you know, progression. You know, don't go for the kill shot right away. Don't set the bar that high because you're only gonna be let down. And then guess what? When you get let down, what do? Start screaming to fire the coach. Or why did we draft this guy? Why did we bring this free agent in? Thank God it's only a 1-year contract. Oh, well, we signed them all to 3 years. Shit, we're stuck with this guy for 2 more years. Now what do we fucking do? We thought we were going to playoffs. No, you thought you were going to playoffs. I didn't think we were going to playoffs. A lot of us didn't think we were going to playoffs. So don't do that to yourselves. You're going to drive yourself fucking crazy.
Oh, shit.
Quick shout out to my guy, Marcus Banks, with the gifted 5 memberships. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how much that means to me. I appreciate you 100%, man. What did Brim say? What about using Laki Tassi at defensive tackle instead of trying to make him a guard?
No.
We got to stick one spot with him. If he's been on offense, just keep him there. You keep moving him around, and which is why I want to make sure that we draft a zero technique kid out of this draft, because I don't want an experiment. I don't want a project. I don't want somebody that hasn't even played the position before as a nose tackle to come in and try and fill that void. Do you disagree, Will? Or
the only player on this roster, in my opinion, that can play the defensive tackle and it wouldn't be a straight up zero technique, a 2-gap plugger, would be 805's Adam Butler. The only reason it would be in a move scheme where it would be like he would be hitting one of the A gaps, and then the inside linebacker already has that backside A or that front side A. So he doesn't have to be a 2-hole plugger. I just don't see Adam Butler being able to plug 2 holes. But other than that, I'm right there with you, Jeff. You need to get an absolute true nose 2A gap plugger. If you don't have that in this set, then you have to use different angles and do different things in order to create those mismatches inside. Because if not, we're going to get fucking pounded straight up the middle.
So 805 said Tyler Shook played a good amount under center in college. Cade Klubnik played a good amount last season. Ty Simpson played very well under center last year. All right. Coach says, I wouldn't want to trade back and draft a QB in a later round. I'd forego getting QB if they trade back.
I can see that.
Says linebacker says, if you're okay with Simpson sitting and learning, then why not just wait for Chambliss next year? I'm to be honest with you, I'm kind of upset that Chambliss wasn't coming out because I really wanted him. I don't know what 805's take is on him, but I do like Chambliss. I like what I did see of him so far. He says all QBs need to sit and develop year one to some extent. I'm all about trading back, gain 2 additional first rounds if offered, and rock with Simpson. That's if we intend to draft a QB round 1. If you think Shook is anything more than Tim Rattay or Klubnik, is anything other than Josh Rosen, sorry. Let's see. Super Bowl in Vegas in 29 is what we're building for. So I can live with that. Yeah. That's 3 years away.
That's realistic. That's realistic.
I would go with that one for sure. But don't be sitting there saying we're in the Super Bowl next year. You know, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying they worked a lot on the center in college.
Yeah. Comes from a pro style system.
What's up, Dre? Dre does. What do you think about that big difficult tackle that Derek and David Cosho mentioned on the draft, Warren?
Tackle. Are you talking about Proctor?
On the draft, I don't know who they're referring to. I didn't see it.
The only guy I've really seen that's a massive mastodon is Proctor, man, that left tackle. And they're talking about kicking him inside the guard as he's not quick enough to get out there on that edge.
Who is this now?
Proctor, something like a huge left tackle. I'd be like, dude, you pointed him out when we were watching the lineman. Dude, he was a fucking behemoth.
Was it him or was it the other dude's even bigger, the kid from Miami, Bell?
Yeah, Bell's
he's
big.
not. He's big, but I don't think he's worth a shit.
No,
watching him in those senior day practices, dude. He got fucking leveled.
Bro, you even seen it in a couple of the games. He didn't know who to block. He literally, I was like, who the fuck is that big guy blocking you? Just
that Miami game, the national title game, I saw him for the first time in that game. I'm like, holy fuck, who the hell's that dude? He's like 9 feet tall. I looked him up. I'm like, God damn, guy's like 6'9", 360 something pounds. The guy's a beast. I'm like, shit. And then when I saw the video from the senior practice, I'm like, yeah, nope, I'm good.
Bench pressed. Nope.
No, too tall. He's too tall because when I was watching him, he's coming off the snap. He's standing straight up. So he's lost his balance already. You know, he tripped over his own feet and then he just got run right over by that defender. I mean, he just turned him into nothing. Let's see. Linebacker says if Kubiak is the next best QB whisperer, then wait until the Titans release Will Levis. Oh, Mr. Mayonnaise and the Coffee Boy. Let's see. Adam Butler can do anything. Oh, we know 805 would say that. Let's see. What did he say? What do you think about drafting that big defensive tackle that was mentioned? No, that's the one you were just talking about. Defensive tackle?
No, defensive tackle. No, I was talking.
Oh, he said that's what he was trying to say was defensive, and it came out difficult. So the DT. I don't know who they were mentioning then if it was a DT.
So I'm going to tell you
unless
this.
You're talking Hunter or McDonald. I don't know. I didn't see the show, so I have no idea who the hell they were talking about.
So, hey, Jeff, your dream of drafting Dunker might be a reality from what I'm hearing. He might be a second-round draft pick.
I know everybody's still. You know what I've heard? I haven't heard much of lately is people clamoring for Jacob Rodriguez as much as they were before we brought in those two linebackers.
Right? As soon as we brought up Nakobe Dean and Quayla Walker, all of a sudden they're like, who is that guy?
Yeah, Jacob's name kind of fell off the shelf.
And let me ask you this.
Thanks, Marcus. I appreciate you. Membership for 9 months. Marcus Banks. Much respect to you, my man.
If he moves down to the third round and just falls it into the third, would you take a shot on him in the third round at a linebacker?
If he falls to the third, it depends on what else we did first. I think I would have to really. This is where the whole trade back thing comes in so handy because you could go and make that move if you get additional first rounders, an additional second rounder, and go a different direction. You know, the more picks you have in the first 3 rounds, the better.
100%.
Because I'm telling you, the meat and potatoes is going to fall between the second and the fourth. That's where everything's going to hit. You know, yes, it's awesome to have 2 first-round picks too. Don't get me wrong there, but getting an extra second-round pick and then maybe taking a couple of those 4s and moving back into the third round with a second third rounder, that could be a beautiful thing too. I mean, we've got leverage. You know, we can do some things. You know.
And honestly, this draft is so deep at certain positions, and we need so many of those positions, right? Because we're bad. Our roster was terrible. That's why we're changing it over. Jeff, I'd be like, we could really get the bag in the second, in the third round, fourth round for our team.
Yeah, you're right too, Coach. The guy's got the size and everything. He just does not have good footwork.
Yeah.
Good footwork, bad center of gravity. He stands up too high.
That's exactly.
No, you're good, Drew. I figured it out. Let's see. Ernest says Dunker is OG in his choice. Herbert has hella stats in his stuff. I don't like Herbert. Never have. I have no use for him. Proctor has bad feet. I think he'll struggle bad against athletic speed rushes. And that's probably what you were kind of talking about.
Mm-hmm. And he does that same thing as Bang too, where like he stands too tall. They're just so tall. They play such their hip level is too high.
Mm-hmm. Zane Durant, I've heard that name too. I've heard people talking about him too as a sleeper. I see Arizona the only team in need of a QB that might be motivated to trade up for Mendoza. They might just roll with Brissett and get a QB next year. Well, they'll have Brissett and pick and chew.
Fucking Uncle Rico.
What's up, Rafa? What's going on? Hey, don't forget, everybody, make sure you hit those subs, hit the notifications, hit the thumbs up, my channel, and then make sure you get over to Silver and Black Radio Podcast. That's Will's, along with Jason, Raiders First Downs. That's Jason's channel. They're both streaming to their channels too, so make sure you guys get over, spread the love. We get those subs up for both these guys.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
I think Jacob Rodriguez would be a solid move. Quay Walker outside, move him around, but I think it's a luxury pick at this point. With the free agency moves, we got needs elsewhere. Yeah, and that's why I said it seems like as soon as we sign those two, Dean and Walker, the noise of grabbing Jacob just dropped right off. Tonight's the first time I've heard his name in over a week.
And here's the thing, Jeff, like when you say Nakobe Dean, because I keep saying like he's injury prone and stuff like that, I think him, like if you do get a quality player that drops, he becomes BPA, right? So that's kind of like, hey, man, you can pick him up just in case, especially because for linebacker positions that somebody goes down. You got that extra guy in that you could do something with.
Let's see. We need 7 picks to the third round. I've actually been mocking Rodriguez to us for a while now, even prior to his massive rise. I think he can make a linebacker room pop. But that's what I'm saying. That next to fact that since we signed those other 2 linebackers, I haven't heard many people saying much about saying, "Oh, we need to grab Rodriguez." I think that kind of settled everybody's stomach a bit with the linebacker room. You know, it doesn't mean I don't want him. I definitely, if we're in a position like 805 said, you know, it's a luxury at this point. It's not a necessity. If we didn't sign those 2 guys, then, well, yeah, if he's there and we got a shot to take him, then fucking jump on him, you know. Oh, Caleb Banks. Okay, so on Car Show, they said Caleb Banks. Here's my take on that. I like the kid. I know he definitely would be great and everything. But when let's say second round comes in, because his stock has fallen, Banks, and it's because of the broken foot. And I get it. But let's say second round comes and I have a chance to, these 3 guys are on the board, Hunter, McDonald, or Banks. Well, I'm in a conundrum because I want one of those 3. But the way I'm looking at it is I'd rather take a sure thing knowing that so-and-so is not injured, is not worrying about a healing bone on his foot. Granted, I know broken bones, you know, they're going to heal and he'll be fine. I know he'll be fine. But this is an investment. Second round pick, this is a guy that you're counting on to possibly come in and stop from day one. And we're already going to lose time with a kid that's, you know, waiting for a broken bone in his foot to heal. I am on the belief of I'm either going to go McDonald or Hunter because I want the guys that I know are not injured right now. Same way I wouldn't have taken Tyree years ago.
Oh,
when we drafted him.
Exactly.
I wasn't doing this stuff yet. I wasn't on doing YouTube podcasts. I would have been adamant about not grabbing his ass. I would have been pissed. I was pissed, but I didn't have a format to go on and do shows or anything. I wasn't doing this yet. But you would have seen me on here screaming like a fool. Like, why the fuck? Because that's how I was in real life. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Yeah, so if it comes down to picking one of those three, I'm going for the guys that do not have a current list of injury. No, they're fine. They're 100% healthy. That's who I'm going with. Granted, Banks could turn out to be better than both of them. What's your take, Will?
Bro, I am 100% with you. Don't sit here and give me another Tyree. I don't need those problems. I need a guy that is healthy, that is ready to go, that we know that he is 100%. The problem is we've already done this dog and pony show. When we did this with Tyree, we should learn our lesson. Hey, what is it? You do this to me once, shame on me. Do this to me twice, shame on you, kind of thing. But this is stupidity. For us to go back and go, hey, man, let's take a risk on another player with a hurt foot, with the broken foot that can and plays the same position, but expect different results. Nah, man, I'll pass. He can become a great player. I'm not saying that players can't recover from their injuries, but because we already have this nasty taste in our mouth from a first-round draft pick, I'm sure as hell not going to do it with a second-round draft pick. You know, I'm like, now, if it was a 5th, 6th, 7th rounder, all right, let's take a shot. But not this high. No way. I got to go with the sure thing, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Linebacker, you said, where's your glasses? He's been putting them on and off.
Yeah. I've been putting them on and off, brother. I'm like, shoot, man. I'm like,
well, I got my new ones. I don't wear these anymore. These are just too big and bulky. These are just dollar store readers. I actually got prescription readers now. I love these. They make they fit my face so much better too. They're not as bulky. I look good. Makes me look smart, even though I'm a fat dumbass. You know, makes me look like I'm intelligent somewhat.
Oh man, hey, that's why I got
the
big glasses, so that way I can look like a super nerd. They're like, "Oh, that's a super smart dude."
Oh, he must be a smart guy. No, he's a Marine, so that tells you everything.
He eats crayons.
Foot injuries can be tricky, especially for big. Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Clinical academics is way better than straight book knowledge. Field knowledge is something else, and I think Kubiak has it. I think Kubiak's going to do a great job. I'm excited. That's our problem. Our RAIDER moderators are sitting right in front of the screen and still wearing Coke bottle glasses. So who's the mammoth nose tackle you would want on our D line? I want Hunter or McDonald. Whoever's there in the second round for us at 36. One of those two. Whoever's there.
BPA.
Honestly, though, what would be a pipe? Warren is at 36. We cannot pass him. Yeah, we can get Orange or Corleone in the third. Hey, Corleone's another one I've been picking up in my mocks every now and then too. Just because of the Godfather, though.
Yeah, that's a cool last name.
Yeah. Dixon says McDonald. I do like McDonald, but again, I don't think you could go wrong with either one of them. You know,
and this is where it's going to be interesting to see what Leonard looks for. Right? This is really going to tell us what he's going to do with that position. Whoever fills that spot, the type of player that he brings in, you're going to really know what you guys got right there. What is it? You guys got any sleepers? I got a guard and a linebacker projected late.
Hmm.
You want to know something? You know how we've been trying to address this number one receiver, Jeff? Like, saying like, oh yeah, there was this number one receiver. We need to address it. I got a sleeper for you as a number one receiver, which people are probably going to be like, you're crazy, Will.
Hey, hit me with it.
Joe Carroll, the kid from that tore up the Senior Bowl. The kid that's coming from a Division III school.
Wide receiver?
A wide receiver. I would take a shot on him late and as a late draft pick to see what he has. I'm like, I think that kid can come in and make a difference.
Did you say Carroll?
Yeah, or out of John Carroll. I think out of John Carroll University.
Oh, John. What's his name?
Oh, I forget, man. He was at the
I'm over here
senior-
looking for the player, John Carroll. I'm like,
My
what?
bad. Let me see here. Let me look that up for you real quick, Jeff. I'll look him up, bro.
Oh, Tyron Montgomery.
Yep, that kid from that school. He came into the Senior Bowl.
Oh,
and
he's
he showed
short.
some things.
He little.
But I'll be like, I think he can be a really good receiver because he's coming from a smaller school that they don't have a lot of stuff. And he came in there and he showed out at the Senior Bowl. And for that, that shows me something, bro. So that's who I would take a shot at.
All right, so he's 5'11", 190 pounds. So here's his Senior Bowl notes. That's what I went to right away. All right, so here's the full week synopsis. If the definition of a riser is a player who had the largest net gain of prestige and grade standing in a single week, then no prospect rose more than Shrine Bowl than Tyron Montgomery, a wide receiver from Division III school John Carroll. Montgomery came into the Senior Bowl as a relative unknown outside of Division III circle, and he left with more than one NFL draft analyst pondering top 100 potential after getting off a dominant start on days 1 and 2. He was a former walk-on basketball player at LSU who didn't play football until 2022. Montgomery could have fooled everyone into thinking he'd been playing for 10 years in Mobile. Dotted across the first 2 days with reps of him offsetting defenders in wicked crossovers and diamond releases while cutting absurdly acute angles and rapidly decelerating at stems. Wow.
He's a hooper.
He beat premier playmaker Chris Johnson at the catch in a one-on-one on day 2 using smooth body control and sharp timing. His final day was a bit rockier. He didn't separate as clearly, had a bad drop early on, and at times appeared imbalanced. But he made such a strong impression on the first 2 days that it won't matter much. At his best, he was the best wide receiver in Mobile, and this is likely just the start of the 2026 NFL draft ascent. Yeah, they're giving him pretty high marks. All right.
And that's why I think he's a sleeper. You can take shot on him in later rounds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I won't argue that. Trying to think of there was an offensive lineman that I kind of had a like late round touch on. Yeah, but I'm trying to think of a kid from Boston. Bowery. Let me do his name. Jude Bowery, offensive tackle from Boston. I wouldn't mind. He could be a sleeper for us late in the draft. Offensive tackle. There was another kid from Boston too. Shit, there was another offensive lineman. I love offensive linemen from Boston. Are big too. They always turn out good offensive linemen. Iowa, Boston on a smaller scale because they're not as big as some of these other colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I here in the chat? Well, maybe we need secondary help. Back to give Ashton a breather, and we need a wide receiver. 805. I do a lot of mock drafts on PFSN, and so though he doesn't pop out to me, I kind of like SMU's Jordan Hassan in the 6 could be a sleeper. Corleone has an offer. Jeffy, it's right. Reggie Virgil. Let's see. Next week, nice man. I'll check him out. Any D3 players will get offers after the draft. Why waste a pick on a lower level when you can grab a kid from him? Yeah, I mean, but he just asked about a sleeper. I mean, doesn't mean we draft him, and he's right. I mean, he probably will be an undrafted free agent, but I don't know. I mean, if the hype is that big on this kid and how we did at the Senior Bowl, it could be.
And let me tell you like this. Just because you play at a big Power 5 school doesn't mean that you're a better player. And Quentin, what's his name? the freaking right guard for the Indianapolis Colts, has proven that. He came from a D3 school and he's a fucking Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
He dominated at the Senior Bowl. That's where he made his name. So we need to stop getting off, oh, you go to a Power 5 school that automatically makes you top 5 in the country. No, that just means you got better exposure. That's it.
Next effect, I definitely see if he's available. And I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with Branch at some point if they can figure it out. If we still need a wide receiver, or I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with him somehow
In the third.
I don't know how they're going to do it with all the other needs we have, but I would not be surprised if we do end up with him. Not at all. What's up, Big Easy? What's going on, brother? Welcome in.
Yo, I got the news
We're
for
over
you.
3
I
hours.
got the news for you, Jeff.
Wow.
Regarding Big Easy. I'm going to break the news, Big Easy. Just so y'all know, Big Easy is the new presidente of TBH Bakersfield. We're going to have you on the show on Tuesday, Big Easy.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Yes, sir.
Did some fancy drafting up and down and got Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Caden McDonald, and then I got Styles' brother safety in the later rounds. Jesus Christ. I guess you did some fancy moving around.
Oh, yeah.
What's the name of the guy again? Raider Will? Yeah, it's Silver and Black Podcast is Will's channel.
And then
that's Raider Will.
Tyson, the player from John Carroll.
Oh, never mind. I thought he meant what was your name. Well, like he already said your name. Wait a minute. Yeah, you're right.
Isn't it Tyson? Did we say Tyson Weiss or Tyson?
No, it's son of a bitch. You're gonna make me go back and look again. I'll be able to find it quicker this time.
Okay.
It is Tyron Montgomery. Tyren Montgomery. Let's see. Eric Genty, linebacker, USC. Don't tell Nate. Yeah, Jude Bowery. That's the guy from Boston College. Whitehead Williams, safety, Ole Miss, 6th to 7th round. Okay,
I could see that. I like kids at Ole Miss too. That's a good program.
What's up, Raider Loso? Quentin Nelson played at Notre Dame. Let's see. One out of how many means what? There's a reason why they went to D3 to begin with, even if they were late bloomers, just saying. I like the Coleon kid. I think his interior D-line draft class is pretty deep. Yeah, I think so too, from what I've seen. Just from what I've seen and what I've heard people talk about and everything on different shows and such, people that know a little bit more ins and outs on the college players than I do. And
yeah,
which is why it's a shame that we're just going to pigeonhole ourselves to take this quarterback at number 1 when we can just do so much.
I love it, Jeff. I love it. We're pigeonholing ourselves.
Well, we are. It's just, they need a quarterback. Well, this is the best one available in the first round. Well, yeah, he's automatically going to be number 1 because they got the number 1 pick, so they're going to take him. Fuck off. What do you say? Don't read my content out loud, Jeff. Yeah, I know. That's why I haven't been putting your shit up there. I saw that.
Big Easy, man.
Who's the TBH president in Bakersfield? I hope to meet him in May. It's Big Luck.
No, Big Easy.
It's Big Easy. I don't know why I said Big Luck. Big Easy.
It's Daryl.
Yep. I don't know why I said that. Sorry, brother. Let's see. Ted Hurst is a sleeper wide receiver out of Georgia. 6'3", 206, and a barn burner with great hands. I'm placing a bet that we trade back. Oh God, I hope that bet hits. Because I know I'll be with you. I'll be with you in Pittsburgh 805. And if I was still a drinking man, I know you'd win, and we'd be taking that money and we'd be going out on the town for the night drinking. I'll drink my sodas.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. If they trade back, Are you going to take your shirt off? Are you going to run around the stage? Or you said you were going to run up
Why
to
the fuck would I do that?
Hey, no. Wait, hold on. You said that you were going to run up there if Mendoza was going to get picked and take Goodell's freaking name thing off, right? And run off the stage. So if they trade back, what's the plan? How are you going to celebrate the trade back, Jeff?
I don't know. They ain't gonna be taking any articles of clothing off. That's for damn sure.
But you were going to streak in order to stop and prevent.
I never said I was gonna streak. I said when it comes time for our pick, I'm gonna run up on the stage when Goodell's walking up with the card, and I'm gonna rip it out of his hand, and I'm gonna look at it first and make sure it doesn't say trade. Because if it says trade, I'm just gonna give it back to him and politely walk off towards security and let him take me in. But if I look at it and it says drafting Mendoza, I'm going to rip the thing in the shreds, stuff it in my mouth, and take off running. So that the pick's been null and void. It's denied. And then I'm going to run around screaming, trade the pick, as I run out. As I'm probably getting tackled by about 15 security guards, because that's about how many it'll take to take me down. They'll have to tranquilize me like a fucking like a rampaging fucking rhino. Out of my way.
Oh, that they're saying that you wouldn't make it past the stage, bro.
No, he's probably right too. That stage is pretty high, man. I'm gonna get there early enough where I'm gonna be able to scout it out. I'm like, all right, so that's kind of the way. Yeah, I'll just nonchalantly walk that way, like I know where I'm going, and just hope for the best. Hey, 805 can help cover for me. Even if the other guys aren't with us, even they got to push me up onto the stage. I don't know, whatever.
Hey, 805 just said Pittsburgh won't be ready for him if we trade back.
Oh God, no. You'll probably hear me. You'll probably hear us all yelling from there, going, "Yeah!" It's so excited. What's up, Savage? Savage in the house.
Savage.
The could be damn good. He got a lot of potential. Jeff gonna run like AB after his release. Yeah, right. Freedom. I'm gonna jump in a pool. Hopefully, I don't burn my feet. Let's see. Did he answer you, Mike? Oh, you know what, Mike? I don't think because he's on Facebook. So Mike wants to know if Big Easy if you're going to the event in Bakersfield in May. Take his shirt up. Did Nate possess random? He just called you it finally. Oh, I can wear the onesie. Yeah, there you go. No. Ain't no way your big ass gonna get past anyone and jump on the stage. Oh, I'll be able to get past them. I'll fucking trust me. I'll push my way through. It's just a matter of getting physically up onto the stage. Like I said, the thing's like 6-7 feet high. That ain't happening. The only clothes Jeff is taking off is the hat he throws when we drive into it. I already told you this. This is what I'm wearing the day of the draft. I'm wearing my this hat. I'm not wearing a baseball hat. Everybody wears a baseball hat. I need to stand out, so I'm wearing this hat instead. So
we'll be looking for you, Jeff.
Oh yeah, well that's why I'll be easy to spot with that thing on. Oh, I got this now too. I don't know if I didn't show you this. I'm so excited. I can't wait to use this. I bought some new toys to get ready for this. So remember, folks, this shit ain't expensive after a while. Doing all this stuff and cameras and everything else. And I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this to add content. So when I'm at the draft.
Ooh,
I got me a
gimbal.
I got me the gimbal.
Nice.
So I ordered it the other day. It came in a couple of days ago. So I've been playing around with it, trying to perfect how to use it the right way and everything. But then I've also got my selfie stick that turns into a tripod that I'm going to be able to attach this to.
That's sweet.
So because I do plan on being live during the draft. I will be live during the pick. I will be live on and off throughout the day. I will be shutting my ring. I'm going to basically put my phone on do not disturb so nobody can call me. If anybody needs to get in touch with me, they get in touch with Dawn.
I call my wife.
15 security guards. I'm going to call the NFL and snitch on Jeff. Go for it. Take your fire credentials. Yeah, it's in my phone. I still got my fire department ID in the phone. I always carry that with me. Jeff got a blitz Goodell with a strip sack.
With the strips.
Yeah, and I know you'll be happy, Savage. You and Silent, because I know how much you guys love Goodell.
Oh man.
Can you imagine if I ran up on the stage and tackled him? Oh.
Bro. People would pay money. I think you'd even make bail.
Sacktown Mike, he said he's going to be there. So he'll be there. So you'll be able to meet him.
Yep.
Were you going to Bakersfield?
No, man. I'm going to go to Reno. I was going to go to Bakersfield, but now I'm going to go to Dallas.
Mike, when you guys go, make sure Leo introduces you to him.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't see him, if you don't find him on your own, Leo will know exactly who he is. He'll meet you guys up. Everyone said we need a wide receiver because Timmy was getting old when we had Porter and Rocket and Jet.
Yeah.
What if because of Mendoza we win the Super Bowl in 2 or 3 years? What would you say then?
Woo! Let's go fucking Raiders.
At the moment that I'm taking the card and ripping it into pieces because it says Mendoza, whatever. that's 2 or 3 years from now. I'm talking about in the moment at the draft.
Can't predict the future.
I guess get the crystal ball out. I'll save some chicken bones and I'll shake them out and put them on the table. Oh, the bones say
He can make it. He's gonna be a bum.
Braid the beard. Yeah. It would be the first time since the Khalil Mack pick that the Raiders would do what I wanted them to do. Let's see. In the first round, that is. Yep. Jeff Will, much love, guys. Thanks for the quality content. Bueno, where you been all night? You just came back now? You checked in and then you disappeared, you fucker. We're going to find a spot to go live during the first pick so our reaction is documented. Yeah, if I can't get close to the stage, then I'll be with wherever they're going to be. So my wife will be there. So I'll put Dawn on camera duty as we're all like staring at the stage waiting.
Bro, I'm just gonna say like this. Hey, just look for the big pile of security. 805 right there.
I'll be easy to spot. I'm gonna have my black hole vest on. I got a bunch of patches I'm adding to it, so I'm gonna be styling. So
yes,
I won't have. I'll be dressed like 805. I'm gonna have a sleeveless shirt on. Hopefully the weather's decent, so I won't be out there freezing my ass off. But I will tell you what, because we don't have the 14th pick anymore. Once our first pick is done, I'm not going to stick around all night watching all the rest of the draft. We'll probably go find a place to hang out or something. I don't see us staying there all night.
Ain't no reason to.
Nah. I'll be live in Oakland with Raider Sing. Oh, cool.
Nice.
I'll never forget the look of disgust Goodell had when he signed a Raider hat. Fuck him.
Fuck that guy.
I'll find him. I'm a social butterfly. Oh, I'm sure you are, Mike. I'll be the second biggest white boy there.
Who's the first?
Hey, who's the first? Because I won't be there. So it ain't me.
Dude, Big Easy's big as fuck. Like, he's big as fuck. That's why I'm like, who is bigger than you?
Jesus. All right. I'm ready to get out of here. We're at 3.5 hours. This is already... Oh, Joe Morley.
Oh, shit.
I don't even think Joe's that big of a dude, though.
He did his fucking Big Easy. Because Big Easy's like 6'5".
All right, final thoughts. You got anything coming up that you want to?
Yeah, man. So guys, just so you guys know, TMBC will be throwing their yearly barbecue. We're going to be out there April 10th through the 12th down there in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. So, hey, Silver and Black Radio podcast will be live, and hopefully we'll get to do some of the most notorious crew stuff down there. Also, man, I'll be on next Tuesday with the most notorious crew with Jeff. And then next Thursday with my Silver and Black Radio podcast. Other than that, man, I want to tell you that I appreciate the time, man. I enjoyed it. I really had a lot of fun. This is a totally different atmosphere than what we usually do, right? So
Oh yeah.
it's a lot different, but man, I enjoyed it. And chat, thank you guys so much for joining us. Man, really, without you guys, there really is no reason for us to do what we do. And it's been a hell load of a lot of fun. So please, man, like, subscribe, and share. I'm like at the same time, hit up my boy LB Raider 10. Man, we are trying to get all our numbers up so that way we can all get monetized. I really appreciate y'all. Hey, please like and share and subscribe on my boy Raiders Jeff's page too if you haven't. Other than that, man, that's it.
I got nothing else coming up the rest of this weekend. I'll be back on, like Will said, on Tuesday night, the Most Notorious, and then I'll be on Wednesday night with Raider Connection, myself, Jay, Nate, LV Rated 10, and Leo, Cheetah Linus. And Leo will be on with Will and I on Tuesday night.
Yes, sir.
And then I'll be on with Nate on Thursday. And I'll go through the rest of the stuff as the week goes on. But keep an eye out. Make sure you have the notifications on. If anybody's a member, I'm going to try and probably do a mock draft members only type of show within a week at some point. So if you're not a member yet, make sure you grab a membership. They start off at 99 cents. I went with the lowest one. So, I've got 3 different options, 99 cents a month. Just like the old Sally Struthers commercials. You can feed a kid for 15 cents a day, so 99 cents a day, you can support my channel. And I appreciate all you. I appreciate all the moderators tonight helping out. Thank you guys. Thank you 100% tonight. Thanks for all the membership gifting from my guy, Aunt Six, and from Marcus Banks. Thank you both. I appreciate you guys 100%. And as I always say, everybody, stay safe and go Raiders. And Will, thank you very much for being on with me tonight. I've had an absolute blast doing this with you.
Thank you, my brother. Let's go Raiders!
Raider Nation, that's going to do it for tonight. We appreciate everyone who called in, everyone listening, and everyone who brought the heat. This isn't just our show. This is your platform, your takes, your voice. If you didn't get through tonight, don't worry. The phone lines will be open again next time. Until then, keep representing the silver and black wherever you are for everyone here. Thanks for tuning in, Raider Nation. Please, 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 have a take and don't suck. We'll see you next time. This is Raider Nation Voices.